So if we talk about the young generation, a question for both of you, should we start teaching in school maybe with a topic like ecological awareness? To start teaching that in school?
I mean, of course you could do that, but I think it would be better to include that aspect in all other subjects, so that we show that everything is connected.
I am not a bigot. I am a good global citizen and believe all the socially acceptable things that the good grown-ups at the big banks tell the TV screens to tell me to believe.
Welcome to the planet, my dears. Wipe your feet. Come on in. No more need for coats in your mother's den.
What do you see as the biggest challenges in conservation?
The growing human population. Because where we are, there's nothing else.
And do you have views about what should be done about that?
Can't you guess?
Then the doors burst open. The king and queen walk through. There's our precious daughter. If they did not know what love meant, who would?
I am so happy that Prince Philip, friend of Jimmy Savile and father of philanthropist and champion of science Jeffrey Epstein's close friend Prince Andrew, and enlightened scientists like Bill Nye will come up with solutions to the hashtag climate crisis. I believe when the TV tells me that science says the earth is dying because of climate change, which is why I became a vegan activist, but I wish we knew how to stop it so poor Prince Philip and Greta can have their futures back.
Growing population is a problem, but notice that the rate that the population is growing, human population is growing, is slowing down. It's apparently raising the standard of living of women and girls, people like you. As women and girls get better educated, they have fewer kids, and the kids they do have more resources, so they're better taken care of and they are more successful.
And I think that was the biggest aha to Bill and me when we got into this work, is we asked ourselves, of course, the same hard-nosed question you'd ask, which is, if you get into this work and you start to save these children, will women just keep overpopulating the world? And thank goodness the converse is absolutely true, because they don't do that.
In this year's annual letter, Melinda and I take the toughest questions we get asked and give our answers. One that's come up for a long time is, as we make the world healthier, is the population going to get so big that feeding everybody and maintaining the environment is going to be impossible? We find that in every country of the world, this is repeated. The population growth goes down as we improve health. That the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down. And so we can feel great about saving those lives.
Having a child means that your net carbon output per year in tons is 59. From one child is 59. Going on a vegan diet removes 0.8. So if you have a child, that's literally making up for like 70 vegans.
That's
you know, if you go car free, if I live in Manhattan and I don't drive, I am the equivalent of 3 vegans. If I wash my clothes with cold water, if I hang them to dry, and I recycle everything, that's the equivalent of 1 vegan diet.
I am so glad my educated wife knew better than to have children. It gives me more time to become a better version of myself. If we did have kids, she wouldn't have this great job and I couldn't have gotten the vasectomy from Dr. Gregor that her corporate health insurance paid for. My wife's boyfriend suggested I take a break from playing my Nintendo Switch and doing hardcore vegan activism in YouTube comments a few times a week to meditate or exercise, but even my spiritual leader, Sadhguru, is concerned about the hashtag climate crisis. Maybe he has a viable solution to this real and not made up crisis that is going to make everything bad happen if we don't do what the good grown-ups in government, banks, and the media tell us to do.
Unless you reduce the human footprint on the planet, there is no solution for anything. Then they asked me a brilliant question, how do you reduce the human footprint? I said, you have to reduce the number of feet. That's the only way. So, Right now, it doesn't matter what others think. All of you who are here and those of you who are hanging out with me, we can take it upon ourselves that we will not push the human population. You can have a dog.
He promoted this on television, and he went around all the agricultural shows, and he had I mean, it was a one-man thing, and it had a tremendous effect. It reduced it from 3% to 1%. But one of the things he said to the farmers, he said, look, you don't need all these children, it's ridiculous. You've got to feed them all, clothe them all, educate them all, and look after their health. So have a few, and then if you want to go on entertaining yourself, have a vasectomy. Oh, yes. Well, how do I do that? Well, I'll organize it for you. We'll have buses running into Bangkok on the King's birthday, very auspicious day. And you will go into, and he took over a whole lot of school halls and that sort of thing. And he showed me a photograph of all these beds and everything, and people went in, and I said, but how did they take it? Well, he said they didn't like being seen to have the operation. Oh, I said, really, how do you do that? I had visions of, putting up. Oh, he said, it's quite simple, I blindfolded them.
Hey, what's that gadget?
Global
Television?
citizens breaking news. I am not a bigot. I am a good global citizen who takes the recommended daily dosage of vitamin TV to keep me in a state of anxiety, agitation, confusion and learned helplessness. I am not a science denier. I trust the experts. I do not deny science. The good grown-up experts from science on the TV interrupt this totally real and not made up #climate crisis to bring you information from a more important and totally real death threat from a global pandemic virus. We must all listen to the experts from science and obey the TV and participate in this totally necessary and justified, mandatory panic.
Spoiler alert, you're a scientist.
What I will say of this virus, I think we're in the middle of a massive experiment worldwide. And that is...
Where are the guinea pigs?
Maybe. The experiment is, will people listen to scientists? In this case, referring to medical professionals.
Medical professionals.
In this particular case.
Say Anthony Fauci over at Allergy and Infectious Disease.
For example, and are you washing your hands? And are you taking these precautions? These are warnings offered by scientists. And
for our own good.
For our own good. And I'd be interesting if we all paid attention to what scientists say, obeying the recommendations of scientists. It's an interesting experiment we're in the middle of.
Report by Johns Hopkins researchers and said that as many as 6,000 children a day could die over a 6-month period from preventable causes because of healthcare system disruptions caused by the coronavirus. Our next guest, Greta Thunberg, recently gave $100,000 she had received for her climate change activism to UNICEF to help protect kids from the pandemic. She's also helping raise even more money for UNICEF. She recently revealed she believes she may have had coronavirus after returning home from working in Europe. She said her symptoms were very mild, and her father, who had traveled with her, also got sick. We spoke to Greta Thunberg earlier this afternoon.
During this crisis, during any crisis, it is always the most vulnerable people who are hit the hardest, and that is children.
Because there's so much focus on coronavirus, there's a lot of kids around the world who may die of things that are very treatable, but because medical systems are overwhelmed, it's going to impact children in ways that a lot of people don't really anticipate.
Coronavirus! I have to say as well, I mean, Anderson and I have traveled around the world and seen the amazing work UNICEF has done in various places. I mean, it really is a terrific organization. Children's Emergency Fund.
I am so scared. If the extra non-essential people don't all obey science and stop working, wear masks, obey social distancing guidelines from science, and stay home until the good grown-ups tell us it's safe again, everything bad will happen always and all the people will die. The models clearly show that this is necessary and we have no choice but to listen to the experts from science. I am not selfish. I am a good global citizen who does not hate children and grandma. I will listen to what this brave, grassroots 16-year-old human shield tells me to do. I am not a bigot. The science is settled. We must accept a new normal. My wife's boyfriend is an essential worker on the front lines. He is a university graduate and a department manager at Walmart and understands the science and the models. He assures me that this is the right thing for us non-essential people to do.
Things I've seen you talk about online too is just how important it is to listen to experts and listen to science. And this is a time when, I was not a very good science student when I was in school, but this is a time it seems that, the global scientific community is so critically important, and we're really seeing just how important it is to follow science.
Yes, exactly. And I hope that we can see now the scientific community are stepping up, and they are speaking up more than they're done before, because obviously this is a crisis that require the scientific community to speak up. And I hope that people really, it feels like science is getting, the role of science is changing now. It's becoming more, people are starting to realize that we are actually depending on science and that we need to listen to scientists and experts. And I really hope that that stays, and that also is for other crises, such as the climate crisis and the environmental crisis, that we actually understand that we have to listen to the scientists.
If the world was vegan, there would be no COVID-19. Up until 10,000 years ago, there were no epidemic diseases. What changed? We domesticated animals.
How's it going? I hope you're being safe out there and in good health. And certainly, I hope you're having enough toilet paper at home. Corona emerged due to the consumption of meat. What can I do in the future to prevent this? Leave the meat off your plate. Don't buy any animal products, and don't consume anything that an animal died for, or has been raped for, or has been tortured for. You know what I'm saying? So in order to avoid a pandemic in the future, you might want to look into your current diet and see what consequences to have an animal on your plate might have on a global scale. And you're seeing it right now. This is a small taste.
American philosopher John Rawls devised a thought experiment called the veil of ignorance. He suggested that when trying to determine a moral course of action on an issue that affects multiple people, we should make that decision from a veil of ignorance in regarding which person we will be. For instance, when designing a social policy that affects two different classes of people, one can imagine that once this policy has been designed, one will be placed somewhere in this society with an equal chance of ending up in either of the two classes. The idea is that placing oneself in a veil of ignorance when designing societies or social policies for that matter should result in a more fair and just society where everyone's interests are considered equally. The British government has now put restrictions in place to slow the spread of this virus. People in the UK are only allowed to leave their homes for specific reasons. This includes shopping for necessities, medical care, and travelling to and from work if it's absolutely necessary. Shops selling non-essential goods have been closed, as well as gyms, libraries, places of worship, and gatherings of more than 2 people have been banned. It's extremely important that these measures are enforced and that we practice social distancing, because potentially every one person can set in motion a chain of events that results in thousands of people being infected. Despite this, it seems that many people in the UK aren't taking this seriously, with photos emerging of packed tube stations and crowded parks. The mortality rates can be expected to increase over time if no countermeasures are put in place to flatten the curve, with hospitals becoming overrun with cases. Sure, if you ignore these guidelines, you may not ever see the victims of your actions, but I can't see how that's morally relevant. If I buy cow's cheese, directly affecting the supply and demand and causing more cows to be tortured and killed, I'll never see my victim, but I'm still morally responsible for their suffering and death. This is especially the case when we consider that the government have now told us extensively the risks of leaving home and not practicing good hygiene. We have now been told countless times that more people will die if we do not take this seriously. One argument is that going outside is going to give you a large amount of pleasure, and that you'll be missing out on something if you don't go outside. Perhaps as a social event you really want to go ahead, or you're just bored of social distancing. This is essentially the same argument that non-vegans use when trying to justify killing animals. If we don't think that we can justify killing non-humans on the basis of pleasure, then surely we can't justify killing humans on the basis of pleasure. I mean, come on, what next? Perhaps you also think that because lions don't self-isolate, humans shouldn't either. I think we all know that the behaviour of lions isn't an excuse for humans killing animals or humans. You may also think that Hitler self-isolated and he was a vegetarian. And while it's true that Hitler did self-isolate before his death, what Hitler did and didn't do is irrelevant to what we should do. To be fair though, if God wanted us to self-isolate, why would he give us legs? Another argument people may use is that the quicker we all get infected, the quicker we reach herd immunity. This of course is true if a virus can only infect you once, which we are not certain of when it comes to coronavirus.
Wow. That is some of the most powerful science I've ever heard. I feel so helpless and afraid, but comforted that the science has a plan to fight this terrible real death threat from this pandemic. The essential workers at the hospitals need our help. We must stay home and implement a global lockdown until the good grown-up experts like philanthropist Jeffrey Epstein's close friend Bill Gates come up with a happy, safe, healthy injectable science medicine to make us immune and healthy. Luckily, this won't affect my vegan activism, which is done anonymously in social media comments. I just wish all the non-essential people would listen to us empowered science-affirming activists and stay home and eat plant-based kibble so we can win the battle against the invisible enemy. Toxic masculinity and science denial seem to be at the root of this problem. It seems like both the hashtag climate crisis and this pandemic can be remedied with the same medicine. A global totalitarian technocratic social control grid of government-enforced mandatory poverty, and a new normal that redefines old, outdated concepts like freedom, healthy diet, family, and masculinity.
What do these 4 countries have in common? It's 2 things: Taiwan, New Zealand, Germany, Norway. All 4 of them reacted decisively to the coronavirus crisis. All 4 of them kept infection rates and death rates low, and all 4 of them have female leaders. This coronavirus crisis has shown clearly that we need competent, empathetic leadership, and that means more women in positions of power, and less of the macho stupidity and sociopathic behavior that we get from Bolsonaro in Brazil, Boris Johnson in the UK, or Trump here in the United States.
These toxic masculinity exuding non-essential extra people who refuse to wear their healthy muscles, stay home and accept mandatory unemployment are infringing on my rights. These science denier irresponsible non-essential people are the same bigots who wouldn't listen to the good grown-up philanthropists who tried to help them sterilize themselves and give up their non-essential rights to travel, eat meat, have jobs, own land, and reproduce in order to save our poor sick mommy Earth from all the toxic CO2 exhalations that the experts say the nasty extra people are off-gassing.
The act of killing the animal wasn't the masculine trait back then. It was the act of providing for your homes, right, was the masculine trait back in the day. Gender roles change, right, but this is back in the day, right? The masculine act was to provide and to look after and to defend. But we've conflated that with the masculine thing being aggressive, but also killing animals. And so you translate that feeling to a 2019 context, and you have people thinking, actually, to be manly means to eat meat, but actually to be manly doesn't mean to eat meat. It means to look after, right?
My favorite vegan activist can help re-educate these ignorant science denial lockdown phobes. They just need some inspirational speeches from positive male role models to teach them to accept the new normal. Earthling Ed can help them understand why masculinity is not about eating meat, or having unnecessary things like children, jobs, guns, testosterone, real animal foods, and rights. If only more men would be like Earthling Ed, we would not have viruses because people would not eat animals, or toxic masculinity because men would be comfortable with their lack of masculinity and redefinition of it.
Getting women to find you attractive, and it's really grotesque when you watch these adverts and you simplify what's happening in these adverts and what's being reinforced to people, but it really, really works. Like, advertising is so powerful. So now you have this idea of that, and then as a vegan, I get accused of being a soy boy, right? And now I am a soy boy because I love soy. Like, that's fine. I drink soy milk, I eat tofu. But the idea is being a soy boy, you're feminizing yourself, right? Because there's phytoestrogens in soy products, which there is.
This brave, stunning activist has me literally shaking with self-empowered, redefined masculinity and an unstoppable drive to stay home and stop this virus and the hashtag climate crisis by continuing my hero's journey of vegan activism in YouTube comments and on my anonymous Instagram profile. Real masculinity is not about having or providing for a family and children, producing and eating real animal foods, or having unnecessary testosterone and muscle and rights. Real masculinity is about using female emotional manipulation techniques to make people behave like you want them to. Thank you, Earthling Ed. I stand with you and you're not toxically masculine man bun and proudly declare.
I am a soy boy because I love soy. Like, that's fine. I drink soy milk, I eat tofu. But the idea is being a soy boy, you're feminizing yourself, right? Because there's phytoestrogens in soy products, which there is. Like, you know, this idea that we have to reinforce these tropes of what it means to be a man. And so almost eating meat's a stamp of that dominance and authority, and is a reminder of kind of like more archaic and transgressive masculine traits and roles, which is interesting.
Bigots. Bigots. What's up, everybody? Hello. Let me adjust my camera here. It's too bright. It's too bright. How's everybody doing? How are all of you bigots in the chat? I got a bunch of bigots in the chat who have not hit the thumbs up yet. Excuse me. That's you. Purell those hands up. 3-4 times obsessively, right? Wash them. All the dirty viruses are everywhere. Wash your hands. Purell the world. And then hit the thumbs up. You freaking bigots. Hit that thumbs up. And get ready for Klaus Schwab's Sustainable Global Equality McMonoculture Carnival 5D Ascension Adventure featuring plant-based GMO kibble. Free plant-based GMO kibble. Everything is free. Everything's free in Klaus's future, which is now just weeks away if everybody will just cooperate and continue to freaking cooperate. Apparently. Oops. Look at that exposure. Do that. Zoom it in there. Turn the camera here. Oh. If you guys, again, I told you this last time. If you feel uncomfortable at any time during this, make sure to just wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands and put the mask on. You know, I mean, you're probably at home. If you're a good global citizen, you're at home, safe, inside, away from the dangerous sunshine.
Guys, if you want to be the big man, the big daddy.
Hello. We've got some support. We got some support from the bigots in the chat, reminding me to turn the volume up. You guys want to be the big man, the big daddy. Jonathan Devries wants to be the big man and daddy. Thank you for that $7.77 donation. Jonathan DeVries says, "Let it rain, you bigots." Yeah, I need it. I need some rain. Send me some rain. Let it rain here. But Klaus Schwab's about to make it rain, guys. Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. That's what we're talking about tonight. So thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, Jonathan DeVries. The best way, guys, to super chat is going to be, of course, Streamlabs. The Streamlabs link is in the chat right now. That's the best way to support. We get none from YouTube. Shadow banned up on the YouTube since 2019. But we love it. It's okay. Someone says, I love the sight of people alone with masks in their cars. I can't tell you how many people I've seen driving alone on rural roads where nobody is around in Ecuador wearing a freaking mask. Ah. It makes me so upset. It makes me so freaking upset to see these people wearing masks alone in their cars. Ugh. Ugh. All right. I don't even know where to start. This is one of those days. One of those days where I don't even know where to start. We got to start somewhere. And I'm thinking that's going to be with, where did we go? There he is. We got to talk about California. We have to talk about California first. First and foremost, right? At the forefront of just destroying everything they possibly can. California at the forefront of self-destruction. I don't even know what to call it anymore. I don't even know what to call it at this point. I have no idea what to call it. Is it this self-destruction? Is this controlled demolition? Is it mass psychosis? Is it just like, is it mass hypnosis? Is it like a demonic flood? Is it all of the above? I think it's all of the above. I think it's about all of the above. And California is getting whammied with it. Let me pull this up here. Let me prepare our stimulus here. All right, so. Well, first of all, I want to look at this because I haven't seen these pictures up close. All right, excuse me. And thank you guys for support. Thank you for everybody who is hitting the thumbs up, sharing the videos. Thank you guys who are supporting via the Streamlabs. That's the best way to support. Super Chat's fine. Streamlabs is always better. Sorry, I had to restart the computer, so I lost my my OBS settings have been wiped. Excuse me while I pull up my Windows. Where did we go? All right. So let's start out. 1 second.
You want to find out?
Whoa!
Find out.
Hey, calm down.
Find out.
Hey, calm down. Calm down.
Come at me.
I don't want to
find out how strong I am.
I don't want to know. I really don't want to know.
Okay? You'll find out.
I really don't want to know. Just calm down there, buddy. Okay. Goodness. Mark Passio. Flipping out. We still got there's a really funny 6-minute video from Mark Passio that I've been meaning to watch for like 3 months. I haven't gotten to watch it yet. It was what that clip came from. It was like a 6-minute video, even funnier crap. All right, let me read a couple of these super chats. We got Andrew Sheed donates $5 through super chat. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Says, Tristan, you need to report for re-education on Monday. Bring your face diaper and leave your critical thinking at home. Yeah, that's the 2020 motto, right? 2020 re-education camp. The 2020 global re-education camp. G-Dub donates $10 through super chat. Says, can't wait for 10 o'clock curfew in California. Can't believe it. And you know what? They did all this stuff in the third world already. They tested all of these things. They've tested all these. They know exactly how many people will be upset. They know exactly how to roll it out in phases. It's it's insane. It's insane. So guess what? We had a 3 p.m. curfew here. They gave us a 7 p.m. curfew for a little bit, and then they tried to enforce a 3 p.m. curfew. And they brought police in from other areas because the police didn't want wanted to snitch on people and give them fines and whatnot. They brought in police from other areas so they don't know the neighborhoods, and they had them police it. Yeah, so we don't have any these curfew things anymore, but I am sure that they will be brought back. The fact that everybody accepted this just opened the doors for more and more. So until enough people say no, until enough people say, F you, we're done with this, until enough people say, no, we're going to live our lives. We're going to open our churches. We're going to open our businesses. We're not going to lay down and die It has been 9 months of terror campaign, and we've been saying since February, March that this is what is going on. That we're being gaslit into a state of guilt and shame about even having critical thinking. You're going to be gaslit. The gaslighting is getting so bad, you can't even say what's right in front of you. You can't even say what you see right in front of you. It's getting so bad. G-Dub, I'm sorry. I couldn't even read your super chat because I got so mad. I'm upset. I'm a chilled out. I'm subdued, but I'm a little bit pissed off right now. In case you guys didn't notice, I can't believe it's November. I can't believe this year is almost over, and I can't believe what people have allowed, what we have all allowed. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And I knew this was what's crazy is knowing this is coming years ago, knowing that this stuff will be rolled out, and it still shocks me. It still shocks me. I don't know. I'll shut up. G-Dub. Well, I'll keep talking, but about something else. G-Dub donates $10 through Super Chat. Can't wait for 10 o'clock curfew in CA, California. We just need to do what we're told. That way we can keep our freedoms. At least where I'm at in NorCal, businesses are staying open and fighting back. Good. Good. But you won't hear about it on any of the news, of course. Throughout California, you will only hear about Cardi B. You hear about selling the next war. You hear about the continuing war on you and everybody. Remember the war on drugs? Then you remember the war on terror. Now we have the war on viruses. We got the war on biology. Right? It is a medical war now. This is insane. These are insane people. These are crazy, fucking crazy, insane people. These are insane people. Should I say it one more time? So I sound like an insane person? All right. Thank you guys who do support. I appreciate that. G-Dub. Gracias, senor. I loved your comment earlier. You made a comment earlier about, I'm sure if Greta were talking about depleted uranium, the issues with our funny money banking system, depleted uranium, and I forget what the other one was. I'm sure she would be on the cover of Time magazine, right? I'm sure she would. If Greta was talking about the drone bombings, the depleted uranium, right? Government surveillance, human experimentation that's continuously going on, organ harvesting that's happening in some of these countries where we send our slave labor to, where we send our goods to be made by slave labor, they openly organ harvest people. The place where Google and big tech are setting up the social credit system and setting up the system of tracking and tracing and controlling the population. Yeah? Now they get to roll that out here, of course. But this same place where all these consumer goods are manufactured, where all our jobs got shipped off to so that we could get pushed into a service economy, which is now being ripped out from under our feet, thanks to globalism, thanks to these transnational corporations, thanks to the World Economic Forum, thanks to our big boy, Klaus Schwab, our big buddy, Klaus Schwab. If she were talking about those things, I'm sure she would she'd be on the cover of Time magazine. I can't believe this. I can't believe that people are in Eastern Europe are standing up. Now, we talked a little bit about Belgium the other day. Was that 2 days ago, 3 days ago? Well, the days are blended into one. Slovakia, largest protest since the Velvet Revolution in 1989. Thousands took to the streets of several Slovak cities to protest against the government and the pandemic restrictions. A lot of people are saying no. They're saying no. All these people are there saying no. Do you hear about this on MSNBC, CNN? No. You're not hearing about this. Guess what you're hearing about? Let me show you. Guess what the news is to these people. The news is not this. No. The news isn't also, you're not going to hear about this. You're not going to hear about Gavin Newsom much. Maybe a little bit, just to rub it in your face. You're not going to be hearing much critique about the rules for us, but not for them. Right? Rules for us. The serfs, the non-essentials. But of course, Gavin Newsom, he's still getting paid, isn't he? Gavin Newsom, he's not skipping out on checks, is he? No, hold on. Let me blow my nose. Sorry, Bill Gates. I got a little snot coming there. Governor Newsom apologizes for attending 12-person dinner party at the French Laundry. 12-person dinner party. We should have modeled better behavior and not joined the dinner, the California governor said in a statement. The governor of California, he gets to have 12-person dinner parties, but you can't even be with your family. He says, no, you can't be with your family. You can't have Thanksgiving. Sorry. No Thanksgiving. You can't do it. What? Are you kidding me? Here he is here. California's doctors top brass. California doctors top brass attended French Laundry dinner with Newsom. Is this not a slap in the face? California Medical Association officials were among the guests seated next to Governor Gavin Newsom at a top California political operative's opulent birthday dinner at the French Laundry restaurant this month. CEO Dustin Corcoran and top CMA lobbyist Janus Norman, interesting name, both joined the dinner at the French Laundry, an elite Napa fine dining restaurant, to celebrate the 50th birthday of lobbyist and longtime Newsom advisor. He's an advisor. Jason Kinney, a representative of the powerful interest group, confirmed Wednesday morning. Both Norman and Corcoran were friends of Kinney, as is Newsom, who referred this week to his 20-year friendship with Kinney. In a photo obtained by Fox LA, Norman is clearly visible seated on Newsom's left. So they did put up some of these pictures. How'd they get these pictures? Somebody who worked there, I guess, must have taken a picture. Some waitress that they treated like a piece of garbage, right? That like none of them even looked her in the eyes. She's out there smoking a cigarette on her lunch, on her break. And she snapped a picture or something. Who knows? There's Gavin. Wow, there we go. So Gavin Newsom, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to follow these rules, but you guys have to. You guys have to. The rules of the Great Reset. The Great Reset. What do we see being rolled out here? Why do all the coronavirus restrictions overlap with exactly what they wanted to do to stop the so-called climate crisis? Why is it all about government surveillance? Why is anybody surprised that it's all about surveillance of everything? Surveillance of your movement, surveillance of your internal biological state even. In Great Reset Mastermind, Klaus Schwab says that the Great Reset can bring risk assessment brain scans before allowing travel. Ooh, because that's what's coming next. That's what's coming next. Once this fades, it will be the reactionary groups that are demonized. The people who don't want this will be turned into bad, mean enemies. They will be labeled those terms that they label enemies in order to make them dehumanized in the eyes of the masses. All right, so we're gonna have to have brain scans to make sure you're thinking the right thoughts before allowing travel. Implantable microchips to read thoughts. Klaus Schwab suggests a number of draconian measures for controlling the population under the umbrella of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, including risk assessment brain scans to cross borders and implantable chips to read people's thoughts. This is what these people write about. This is what Klaus Schwab openly says in his book, that the restrictions will never end. We read this the other day. The restrictions will not end, he says. He says, these restrictions are also really good and we should keep them. Guess why? Guess why? Because of climate change. Because the climate keeps changing. It won't stop changing. What have I been telling everybody for years? It doesn't even matter at this point. Does it really matter at this point? What I've been saying, it's like it's right in front of our faces now. Climate crisis rhetoric is depopulation rhetoric. The climate crisis is caused by, guess what? You existing. We existing equals the climate crisis. There are too many people, they tell us. We need to reduce the human population, they tell us. And they tell us, oh, no, we want to save the old people. We want to save all the old people. As capabilities in this area improve, the temptation for law enforcement agencies and courts to use techniques to determine the likelihood of criminal activity, assess guilt, or even possibly retrieve memories directly from people's brains will increase, he writes. Okay. Schwab notes that the use of technology to conduct mass surveillance and tracking of the population runs counter to healthy open societies, yet goes on to present it in a positive light anyways. Exactly. Here you go. The World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum put this out today. Brainwaves could help us monitor mental health, says Alphabet. So the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab started the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab, who's a technocrat. Klaus Schwab, this dude, is an unelected official, is an unelected guy. Nobody voted for this dude. These people talk about, oh, the sanctity of democracy. Who voted for Klaus? Did anybody here vote for Klaus Schwab? Do you guys remember voting for him in your sacred, totally real democracy? Did you vote for Anthony Fauci to shut down the country? Did you vote for Bill Gates? I just don't remember that. I really don't remember that. So here's a quote from Klaus. The problem that we have is not globalization. The problem is lack of global governance. The problem is not globalization, it's the lack of global governance. Guess who gets to take care of global governance? Huge corporations, transnational corporations, big banks. What a surprise. What a surprise. These people have been meeting in open for years now, discussing policy, discussing the Agenda 2030, Smart City Grid. We've been reading that Ida Auken article.
Carnists will try to befriend you. They'll try to say, the vegan ideology, you've been brainwashed, come over here. That's brainwashing.
That's brainwashing.
That is the actual brainwashing.
All right, there we go. Larry Romano, thank you for supporting, man. Thank you for supporting. You guys, these streams only happen because you guys support them. We get no support from YouTube. If you enjoy the streams, please support the streams. Best way to do it is via this link. Sometimes I got mods here, and they throw up my links in the chat, and that is a link to support via the Streamlabs. That's the best way. Larry Romano sends $10 through Super Chat.
I'm so much better now, and I'm so much bigger and stronger than you.
Thank you. And I agree. Larry says the Fox LA guy who obtained the photos said they came from another customer. The medical industry exec from the dinner is still trying to claim they were outside. It was on Tucker. That's funny. So Tucker covered it. Good old Tucker covered it. So Klaus Schwab, the problem is not enough globalization. We're going to have to open up his book again, COVID-19, The Great Reset. We're going to have to open this up again. But let me read this other super chat. Kel donated $20. Says, someone please give poor sick Greta a steak. Kel, you know what? That $20 donation, that's going to go directly towards the Get Greta a Steak Fund. I appreciate that. Kel, you're actually winning. You got the nicest super chat yet. And you were the star supporter. Thank you guys. Remember, these streams, they only happen because people like Kel donating and keeping these streams alive. We get no incentive from YouTube. They've curbed any potential growth on this channel and have been removing several hundred subscribers every month since October 2019, since a year ago. We were getting 3K. I know I bitch about this all the time. I'll shut up. We were getting 3,000 subscribers every month, and then that adpocalypse happened back in October. And since then, just every new video, they just remove a few hundred subscribers. And you'll probably find that you get removed several times from being subscribed to this channel. So if you do want to get notified, best way, sign up for the newsletter down below. We'll send out an email before these streams happen, or you can become a member of our private forum where we do weekly coaching calls. If you want to get some help from us, myself and Jessica, we do weekly coaching calls in there. That's actually one of the best ways to get coaching is in our private forum. And there's a link down in the description for that. That's another way to support and get our support as well. All right, let's hear a little bit from Klaus Schwab, and then we'll read a bit from his book.
It's at the end, what the fourth industrial revolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological identities. When I wrote the book, I started to write it for years ago. It was published 3 years ago. It was sold very interesting over 1 million times in the world. And what is interesting is that 800,000 copies, more than 800,000 copies of those 2 million were sold in 3 countries alone: China, Japan, and South Korea. You may be interested, who was the biggest buyer with 16,000 copies at the same time? It was the Korean military. Because the fourth industrial revolution will have a major impact also on warfare.
Lawfare, right? The fourth industrial revolution is surveillance everywhere. They've tried to rebrand surveillance military hardware everywhere in what they call the Internet of Things. They're saying this is the fourth industrial revolution, right? Revolutions are so good, they tell you. All the revolutions are so good, and this is an industrial revolution. In fact, it's the fourth industrial revolution. It's amazing. It's so good. It's so progressive. We're going to bring equality. We're going to bring equity. We're going to heal Mother Earth, and we're going to fuse our physical, digital, and biological identity? Slit that one in there, right? Oh, it's going to be so good. We're going to get rid of suffering. We're going to get rid of the racisms. We're going to flatten all the curves. We flatten the curve on every woman in Africa and India, South America. We flatten the curve on all American women. The curves already mostly flattened. The males, the extra males, they're already mostly sterile in America. But we will bring capitalism. We will bring a circular economy. It will be beautiful. Oh, and also we put microchip in you, and we track your thoughts. And if you have too much of certain hormones, we hit a switch and we give you the other hormones to balance you. These people, they want full surveillance of bodily function, right? They want Fitbits in your brain. This is not a joke. This is not just, wouldn't that be kind of crazy if someone wanted to put Fitbits in everyone's brain? Well, no. It's it is that crazy. It's worse than that. And the problem is we don't have enough global government, right? There's not enough totalitarian control from technocrats who are unelected, right? And these are the people who've created all this environmental devastation. These are the people whose industries have weaponized this propaganda to dehumanize people, to turn little girls into whores, little boys into morons, through all this propaganda that they're constantly pushing through the media. These people are going to tell us, the problem is we don't have enough global governance. Not enough. We don't have a global governance.
It's at the end, what the fourth industrial revolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological identities.
Our physical, our digital, and our biological identities. We fuse them all. We fuse and confuse, don't we? Yes, we must. We must do all of this. The fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution. And revolution is good. Now you're told revolution is good. The revolutionary worldview is what we should have. We should all be revolutionaries fighting for justice and equality. Right? This kind of like Marxist idea of constant revolution. Who was the first revolutionary, by the way? Who is the first revolutionary? Who's the real revolutionary? What's the revolutionary spirit led by? Lucifer is the original revolutionary. This is inherently Luciferian at its core. Right? It is about taking control of all of creation and enthroning fallen man on the altar of God. Right? It's about tearing down throne and altar. That's what it's always been about. The revolutionary spirit is Luciferian. Excuse me. The original revolutionary is Lucifer. So then man, fallen Luciferian man, who, whether knowingly or not, is adhering to the ideology, that Luciferian ideology. And in the lodges of Freemasonry, they even talk about this, right? It's this Gnostic idea of there's this creation, but it was basically kind of left behind and just thrown out in the garbage. This creation was just, Jay has said, aborted, right? The creation is just a giant abortion. And God is the demiurge, and God, the God of that created all of this is somehow bad, but Lucifer, the light bearer, through the intellect and through the arranging of the natural world, the created world, can recreate a perfect state where there is no death, there's no suffering. And this is the mystery of iniquity. This seeking of creating the kingdom.
That's racism, man. I love to racism, bro.
This seeking of creating the kingdom in the image of man, right? Man being made in the image and likeness of God, but then through the fall, shucking that, rejecting the image and likeness of God, and saying, no, I'm made in the image of, I'm a monkey. I'm a freaking cosmic space monkey who's just here to get his. Or I'm a cosmic space monkey and I'm the tip of the spear of evolution, propelled through space-time. And because of my seething powers, the seething powers of Lucifer that flow through man, this is what they teach in Freemasonry, we are the tip of evolution, the tip of the spear, and therefore it is our duty, is our right to take the reins of evolution and guide that evolution and guide the evolution of mankind out of the chrysalis of the former being that man was into this new created being, like the Star Child in 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is based on books by Arthur C. Clarke, which were highly esoteric, which were steeped in mysticism and this Luciferian Gnostic philosophy. So when you watch a film like Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, that is what it's about. It's a theological cosmic journey through this Luciferian ideology of evolutionism and of revolution, right? The Industrial Revolution. And the Fourth Industrial Revolution is represented in 2001: A Space Odyssey by HAL 9000 and by this technological structure, superstructure that man had built that was actually guiding the human characters in that film into an oblivion of nothingness. That's where those characters ended up, in an oblivion of nothingness, fried out in space. Because this is the sick ideology these people think, and they think this is good. We're gonna go to space. We're gonna go to the stars, and we're gonna take control of everything. These people are insane. These people are insane. So we've got 2030: A Space Odyssey. 2030: A Space Odyssey coming up, and Klaus Schwab, and these people. I don't know why the timing of this was done as such. It seems like there were, from everything that I've read from people like H.G. Wells, from reading the nonfiction work of H.G. Wells, right? The nonfiction work, not the fiction work. Everybody knows about his fiction work. There's nonfiction books, and Jay's done a really good job at breaking down some of these and doing summaries videos of these books. H.G. Wells' book, The Open Conspiracy, his book, The New World Order. I mean, these like classic names. When you hear the names, it's like, oh my goodness, he wrote a book called that. Yes, and they're nonfiction. When you read people like that, when you read guys like Julian Huxley, when you read guys like Charles Galton Darwin, when you read the Lord Birkenhead, who was best friends with Winston Churchill, and his futurist publication that was published in Hearst's Cosmopolitan magazine in 1929. And he said in 100 years in the future, this is what it's going to look like. And he laid out all the 2030 stuff, but this was in 1929 when he said it. He said babies are going to be born in labs, slavery, will be made moral because the ectogenetic lab-grown person can just be grown by the state and won't have any will. This is what these people believe. And this was 100 years ago. Winston Churchill's best friend, futurist Lord Birkenhead. When they espoused these demonic philosophies so long ago, it seemed like their timeline was actually quicker than it ended up manifesting. He was saying by 2029, everybody would be born in labs. All your food's going to be lab-grown. Right? Now, their 2030, of course, is the benchmark year for the Sustainable Development Goals. Agenda 21 became Agenda 2030. It seems like they've got this timeline where they want it by 2030. They want this done. It seems like they did think they were going to get this done quicker. Maybe that's why it's being rolled out with such ferocious rapidity. Maybe it's being rolled out really quickly because they saw these huge kind of populist leaning uprisings going on, and people were getting really upset, and they've realized if we don't clamp down quickly, this will get out of control. We won't be able to control the rollout of all this technology that we want to use to create a giant control grid. Maybe that's why. Maybe because all these people were, a lot of people were starting to talk about this, and maybe it was just time. I don't know why, but this year it seems like 2021, and I'm sorry to say this, it sucks to say this, but 2021 is going to be a major accelerator year. We thought 2020 was crazy. These people were going to throw the kitchen sink at us in 2021. They're going to get nuts. All right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to play this.
I don't know how it will play out in November, but what...
November? I don't know how it will play out in November, but what I do know is that we know how to weaponize people against each other. And the fourth industrial revolution can be brought about using any excuse or crisis. We know we can create a crisis whenever.
We know is that we will end up with many more unemployed, and particularly also people in the grey economy, which are not counted for, who lose their jobs. So we will see.
When he says that, the people in the grey economy, guess who that is? Those are the poor people of the world. Those are the street taco vendors. Those are the little ladies that sit outside the markets here in Ecuador selling hand-woven rugs. The grey economy are farmers who go to farmers markets. The grey economy is anything that's not taxed. Anything that's not taxed. People making tips, valet parking, the service economy, anything that's not taxed. Oh, we do know that we will have to get rid of the grey economy. There will be a loss of jobs in the grey economy because they want everything tracked and traced. Why do you think they keep talking about tracking and tracing? You can't track and trace a virus out of existence. This is about war on humanity. It's about controlling your movement, your relationships, your biology, and even your thoughts. And they're open about this. This is not conjecture. This is not conspiracy theory. Klaus Schwab, this Bond villain looking human, alleged human, right? This monster openly talks about, we want to put chips in your brain. The fourth industrial revolution will get rid of most jobs. And he goes on CNBC and gloats about it and says we'll get rid of the gray economy. That's waitresses. That's people who mow lawns. That's kids who sell lemonade. No, that's all dangerous because that's humans. We can't touch humans. Humans have all the viruses and the bacterias. We have to be afraid of them.
I don't know how it will play out in November, but what we know is that we will end up with many more unemployed, and particularly also people in the grey economy, which are not counted for, who lose their jobs. So we will see definitively a lot of anger.
We expect to see a lot of anger. Let me just obscure this and make it seem like this is a natural process. Dude, this guy looks like he lives in a freaking volcanic layer. This dude looks like he lives in a missile silo surrounded by strippers with machine guns. This dude even dresses like that half the time. Look at this. Check out. Klaus Schwab. What the fuck is this outfit? Look at this strut. What is this sash? Dude's got a white bow tie, a red and white sash, and a freaking red ribbon. And some... Look at this. Look at his wife.
She looks pretty.
That woman looks like a handful. That woman looks like a hand. I gotta zoom in on that bitch. Look at that. Wow. Wow. These are the people. They're the essentials. These are essential people. They're so essential. Look at here. You gotta go to. Look at this dude. Look at what these people. Oh wait, no, it's over here. I've got it here. Sorry, I've got my links in a few different places sometimes. There. Here's Klaus Schwab. Hard at work. The fuck is this? What is this? Dude, you're dressed like freaking... I don't even, like, you... What is this?
Like
Look at the black sun.
Star Wars meets Matrix.
Look at that, like, the black sun thing on his... It's like Mortal Kombat meets Star Trek meets Bond villain. This is real, man. This is what this guy fucking... Look at this. Scientia ingenium virtus. Scientia ingenium virtus. Look at this evil shit. But no, this is the science, right? This dude's dressed up like freaking the Wrath of Khan. The Wrath of Khan meets Sub-Zero. Freaking Sith Lord. But we should trust him. We should trust him. You look like the final boss on Mortal Kombat that can morph into any animal you want. He's the final boss that he could just change into dragons and shit. He's Shang Tsung.
Michelle Law is a pee in the poo-poo advocate.
He looks like Shang Tsung meets Dr. Mangala. You look like some dude that makes his wife call him the Count. You look like... You look like... Man. Alright, so... The grey economy. The grey economy.
Which are not counted for, who lose their jobs. So we will see definitively a lot of anger already now. But
it's almost like a Freudian slip there at the beginning. Just with 30 seconds in, all the people that are not being taxed will all lose their jobs. Listen to this.
And particularly also people in the grey economy, which are not counted for.
Which are not counted for. We'll get rid of all of them.
Who lose their jobs. So we will see definitively a lot of anger already now, but probably increase by the end of the year, because this crisis will be with us until we really have found a remedy. So we have to...
Until we find a remedy. The crisis will be with us until we find a remedy. Oh, and there is no remedy. The only remedy are the remedies we make up whenever we want. Klaus Schwab. This dude started the World Economic Forum, which meets in Davos. They're out in the open. It's not like Bilderberg where they try to be secret about it. It's not the Council on Foreign Relations where they didn't really want anyone to know about it. Then when people found out about it, they're going to downplay it. No, they're just like, fuck it. We're just going to be in their faces. We're right in their faces now. They meet every year in Davos, talk about policy, talk about the future, and publish op-ed pieces like, it's 2030, I own nothing, and my life has never been better. Welcome to 2030. I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better. It's amazing. The remedy will never be found. But to find part of the remedy is we have to inject you multiple times. Always we have to take DNA samples from you. Part of the remedy is you can have no freedom or anything. All you have to work for OnlyFans and Google. You have to become e-whores. All your daughters must be e-whores. And all your men will also be e-whores. You'll all serve us. The remedy?
Prepare for a more angry world. And how to prepare? It means to take the necessary action to create a fairer world, to see that we provide everybody with decent access to the health system, that we make sure that those people who are really left behind, and I'm not speaking only on national levels, I'm speaking also internationally. If I see now the tragic...
Okay, I like it. All right.
Excuse me, I should have paused Klaus and let Stevie Janowski take the stage. The only remedy is you have to wear dehumanization mask, you have to get brain chip implant, you have to let me tell you what to do with your life, you must stop driving car, eating meat. The only remedy is Brave New World. The only remedy is Logan's Run meets Brave New World meets THX 1138. All right. We got some super chats. Hey, thank you guys who support. And yeah, I enjoy doing these shows. I like coming on here, trying to spread the word. It really does make it worth it, guys. Rat Splatigan. There you go. Rat Splatigan. He was here last time. He or she. Or, sorry, oh man, I know there's way more than two. I can't name them all now. You and Jay got me reading the OSB, that's the Orthodox Study Bible, every day, and on Sunday morning I'll be attending my first liturgy. Bless you and your family. That's amazing, man. That's really cool. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God something good can come of me ranting and raving and screaming at Klaus Schwab and Greta and all these fucking vegans for years. At least one good thing came of it. Ras Flatting going to his first liturgy. I don't know. I feel blessed to read that, and I appreciate it, man. And wishing you all the best in many years. The real Cooter Brown, another regular. The real Cooter Brown, the real one, not the fake one. The real Cooter Brown. Donate $5. Says the university I'm graduating from next month announced they're probably implementing surveillance testing next semester. Well, they will randomly test groups of students for COVID to track the virus. And there's been no pushback, I've heard. It's insane. Yeah. Thank God you're graduating next month. Get rid of that student debt as soon as you possibly can. Or talk to Carnival about student debt. Ask Carnival about student debt. Shout out to my buddy Carnival. YouTube stopped recommending your channel to me. I don't even know if you made a video in the last few weeks. But yeah, I'm glad you got through it. You made it out. You made it out sane, hopefully. Yeah, that's crazy. The testing and tracing, the surveillance, right, all this laid out by that Rockefeller Foundation. COVID response. What was that? It was like a white paper released by the Rockefeller Foundation. We talked about this. I don't even know which episode it was. At one of these episodes, probably like 5 or 10 of these, we probably read excerpts from that. And the COVID tracking and tracing stuff. The Clinton Global Initiative was trying to get involved in rolling this out in California, right? You're looking at, these are huge scams. This is essentially, we need military surveillance like they use in Afghanistan for terrorists for every person on the planet. We need to track all your cell phones, everybody you come in contact with. They want data. Data is the new gold, they say. And if you stop giving them data, you stop giving them gold. This is what they want from us. They want to harvest us for data. They want to use us as freaking batteries. It's insane. Cooter Brown, you made it through the university. Congratulations. If you still have your PP, double congratulations. Now, find a good woman. Forget about your degree. You're never going to use it. It's a waste of money. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't have any advice for you. You're a college graduate. You know what you're doing. Matthias donates $50. Matthias, the winner of the stream so far. Matthias, that $50 is going to this non-essential, and this non-essential thanks you very much for those non-essential 50 ducats. Matthias donates $50, says great work. Have you heard of problems with removed wisdom teeth? Thoughts on the Book of Enoch? Those are great questions. Problems with removed wisdom teeth? I mean, I feel like anytime we start yanking things out of place, we can run into problems. Dentistry is kind of like butchery these days. A lot of orthodontistry is some quack shit. I don't know. They wanted to remove my wisdom teeth. I didn't let them. My teeth were fine. I had enough room. There's like maybe a tiny bit of crowding on a couple of my bottom teeth. Like they got a little tighter as those wisdom teeth came through. I enjoyed feeling my wisdom teeth come in. I mean, it took till I was like 25 for them to be fully in. And I did enjoy the process. It hurt sometimes they're pushing in. But I'm glad I didn't get mine taken out. Did you get your wisdom teeth removed? If you did, it's probably fine. If you didn't, I don't know, maybe double think it. Huh? Yeah. Double think. No, don't double think. But, think about it. Not double think in the Orwellian sense. A double speak, rather. All right. Matthias. Also, thoughts on the Book of Enoch. Yeah, the Book of Enoch is fascinating. It's not canonical, but some of the it's really interesting learning about the history of the councils, the church councils, and many of the church fathers wanted the Book of Enoch to be canonical. Some didn't. The reasons why some didn't, there are interesting discussions about that, different theories that I've heard from people that know a lot more than I do about it and about the history of it. But what I would say is I do think it definitely was divinely inspired. It's a book that I found reading it was... I think that it's divinely inspired for sure. Now, is everything in it correct? Not so sure. But I do think it's an interesting book, but we don't look at it as canonical. Though I don't know. Maybe at some point in the future it will become more important as a document. It's like a historical document. It's fascinating. So I do enjoy it, but we don't see it as canonical in Eastern Orthodoxy, which is something I would love to learn more about and study more about. The history of the Book of Enoch in the church councils and the church fathers. So thank you very much. All right, you guys who are watching, the best way to support, if you want your comments read, your questions read, or just want to prove that you're not a bigot, and if you really want to save the climate won't stop changing. You guys, the climate's changing. The weather's changing. It's bad. There's hurricanes, everything, migrant crises. These are all because climate change. And all these immigration crises and wars and stuff, those are all climate change. And the only way to stop it is by sending your money to me. This is what Klaus Schwab's shtick is. This is what they're telling you. But it's not just some of your money. It's everything. Give us everything. And the climate crisis wasn't working enough, but we've got the new excuse. And now Klaus is talking about cyber attacks. He's saying that the next crisis will be cyber warfare, cyber attack, possibly against the financial system. Talk about great reset, huh? Oopsie, zero. I hope that doesn't happen, but this is what he's talking about. He's saying the next one will be worse. It will be much worse. You know, it will be worse than COVID. This will be terrible. So prepare for an angrier world. Back to Klaus here. Back to now Klaus. Back in July. Why is the world going to get angry? Perhaps the world is going to get angry, and perhaps Klaus and the World Economic Forum understand will get angrier because of what they plan to subject us to, because of the dehumanization campaign they plan to run against us, because of the terror lockdown campaigns and house arrest, gulag system that they're trying to set up. Of course, people will not want to join the fourth industrial revolution. There will be nationalists and terrible people who are all racist and bad mans. They are all very bad. There will be Orange Man bad, perhaps, and he will not go along with it as we plan. There will be people who want to eat meat, and we will have to tell them, no, you have to eat the Beyond Meat.
That we make sure that those people who are really left behind
And I'm not speaking...
Left behind. They use this, oh, we're going forward. Anybody else who does not want to put brain chip and allow Jeff Bezos in their skull will be left behind. We'll give you super penis powers. If you let us put Alexa in your brain, we will give you free access to vegan gains, OnlyFans. We will also give you access to VR video, Cardi B twerking. You'll get 10 hours a day free of Cardi B VR twerking pornography. You'll be left behind if you don't put Amazon.com in your skull. You must allow me to put birth control implant in you to help you with fertility. We'll give you special Beyond Burgers that will help you with your health.
Speaking only on national levels, I'm speaking also internationally. If I see now the tragedy in some of the emerging countries like South Africa, like some countries in East Asia, I think it's all, I don't have too many remedies.
Listen, he's almost laughing. I think it's all, you can see this dude's almost, he's like beaming. It's like he's talking about his child, his firstborn son. Oh, this is all. I don't have his remedy already. Oh, I don't want a remedy. Look at him try and choke back laughter. He's trying to hold back laughter.
I'm speaking also internationally. If I see now the tragedy in some of the emerging countries like South Africa, like some countries in East Asia, I think it's all, I don't have too many remedies. The remedies have to be discussed through dialogue by the stakeholders of our global system.
Oh, the stakeholders. This is, the stakeholders. Guess who the stakeholders are? Oh, the stakeholders like Bill Gates. The stakeholders like the heads of government. The people with the levels of power, heads of global corporations. This is stakeholder capitalism. This is what he wants to bring in. The idea of stakeholder capitalism. You can be shareholders. All you plebs, you non-essentials, in the past you were allowed to be shareholders. But I am a stakeholder, you fucking bitch. I am a stakeholder. I am Klaus Schwab. You can all have shares. You have your Beyond Meat shares, but I eat a real steak. I am a stakeholder. I stake claim to your, I drink your milkshake. I drink your milkshake. You understand, you plebs? We are the stakeholders. We get real steaks. You get impossible milk. You get lab-grown Ellen DeGeneres breast milk. We will give you, you will suck from the pap of a robot shaped like Ellen DeGeneres, who will beat you if you do not watch enough Joe Rogan. He will beat you if you do not listen to Michelle Obama podcast and Google George W. Bush's amazing artwork and paintings. If you refuse to say that George W. Bush is greatest artist in the world and his paintings are revolutionary, the Ellen DeGeneres robot will beat you and you will not be allowed to drink artificial lab-grown breast milk made from real mammary cells harvested from Oprah Winfrey.
But I just see the need for such a dialogue, and I see the need for action. I see the need for a great reset.
Oh, I see the need for dialogue between me and other billionaires. I see the need for a public display of fake dialogue so we tell you what to do. I see this with a need.
And would a reset be brought about by a change in the White House? The election of Joe Biden, for instance.
Oh, look at her face. Whoa. Whoa. All right. That's interesting. I've only seen the first part of this video.
Sees the need for a great reset.
To what extent would a reset be brought about by a change in the White House? The election of Joe Biden, for instance.
Look at that. Look at that eyebrow wave. There's something about this. Damn. Look at this.
White House. The election of Joe Biden, for instance.
That eyebrow raise is weird. I don't know what it is about that. There's something quite strange about that eyebrow being raised. I'll lift my eyebrows all the time when I talk, but that was some little glimmer behind that. Little glimmer of evil behind that one, wasn't it? Wow. Little wink, wink, nudge, if you know what I mean.
I don't know. We shouldn't speculate.
I don't know, but you guys remember Joe Biden? He's using. Where is the image? Joe Biden is using the Build Back Better. Where's this? Joe Biden Build Back Better stuff. There it is. Build Back Better. Wait, I lost it. There's so much. There it is. Build Back Better. Boris Johnson's plan must start with wrecked public services. WEF, World Economic Forum. To build back better,
I'm so much better now, and I'm so much bigger and stronger than you.
If we can only build back better, we can be so much better and bigger and stronger as stakeholder capitalists. You can hold shares, we hold entire stakes. Can you believe this is what they're saying? Oh, stakeholder capitalism.
I feel 10 feet tall right now, and strong as an ox. Who the fuck is this guy?
Ah!
Who the fuck are you? Huh? Who the fuck are you? Okay, I like it. All right.
Hey, all right. Man. I kind of want a glass of whiskey, but I feel like my stomach won't like it right now. I ate something. I don't know what I ate yesterday, but it didn't sit right.
Was it the leader of eggnog?
I think it was the leader of eggnog. I think that's it. I know that's it. I drank. All right, so you guys remember the eggnog that Jessica made? I was very hungry yesterday, and there was nothing to eat. I had to milk the cows. I'm milking 3 cows. It kind of is tiring milking 3 cows by hand. I'm not complaining. It's not that bad, but it's like my legs get a little tired, and I get some hunger worked up. And I don't think I ate anything. And then I milked the cows, and I came back and I was all hungry. I'm like, what am I gonna eat? And there was the eggnog left.
I just cleaned the kitchen.
She just cleaned the kitchen. She didn't want me to make something. She's like, just have some milk and cheese or something. I was like, nah, that's all I did. Like the day before that, I basically just ate milk and cheese. So I was like, okay, I have some of the eggnog that you made. There was 1 liter jar of this eggnog, which is very rich, very, very rich. And I drank that. Then about 3 hours later, it came out in the other end. So I would have a glass of whiskey right now. It's been like a month since I had a glass of whiskey, but I don't want to upset. I don't want to upset. I don't want to make a mess. I don't want to upset the balance of the force, if you know what I mean. But man, oh man, let me read some super chats. Can you give me some water though? Or I think it's frozen. Just a cup, and I can pour that in it. I got a frozen bottle. Oh, the stakeholders. Stakeholder capitalism. You get shares, we get the whole stake. I can't believe these people, man. These people are insane. DB donated $10. Says, in a previous stream, you mentioned a lot of beliefs relating to Hinduism, such as reincarnation, were nonsense, and that their spiritual beliefs weren't as ancient as people were meant to believe. Can you expand more on how you came to this conclusion? All right, well, there's a great lecture by Dr. Matthew Raphael Johnson. He has a website called The Orthodox Nationalist, and he has a great lecture about Hinduism. And the idea of Hinduism as sold in the West is kind of an amalgamation of marketing ploys, right? Even yoga was imported as like an exercise kind of calisthenics thing for general fitness for soldiers, and that's what it was used for in India when the British took it and started exporting it and using. Remember, the Anglo-American establishment are experts at destroying your culture and then taking little parts of other cultures and trying to inject them and create this kind of primordial cultural soup where it's just, this works here for this works here for that. We'll bring a little opium to China. Oh, they don't want it. We'll force the opium into China. We'll destabilize this country. We'll do this. We'll move these people over here to change the demographics and the voting blocks. And these things are tools for them. And that Dr. Matthew Raphael Johnson from the Orthodox Nationalist podcast, he does a great job of breaking down some of these ideas. I forget what the episode was called, but that is a good episode, and he makes some good reading, some reading recommendations in there. So thank you very much for that one. DB, I always appreciate your comments, and I really appreciate the support, guys. Kareem Paula Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Paula Abdul, thank you. Thank you for that little giggle from the name there. I like that. Kareem Paula Abdul-Jabbar donates $25. Says, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. COVID. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Hold on. Hold on. Thank you. You're welcome. I mean, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, stakeholders. Look at all you stakeholders. To build back better, we must reinvent capitalism. Here's how. The pandemic brought into focus many of the vulnerabilities in our systems and institutions, but it offers us a change to shape a more resilient and sustainable world. World Economic Forum by Klaus Schwab. Here's how businesses and policymakers can start building the green and inclusive future we need. So they talk about, oh, look, George Floyd and COVID and resilience and future growth and future-proofing capitalism, which is rebranding what they call the zero growth economy, the circular economy, and stakeholder capitalism. 4 ways stakeholder capitalism can create a more resilient post-COVID MENA region. Public-private collaboration and stakeholder capitalism, right? That means public-private partnerships across the board. That's what stakeholder capitalism is. These people think that they're fighting fascism because Trump is this evil man who hates progress, and this is what they want to replace that with. Actual, global, at the top level, what this is, it actually is real fascism. At the top level, public-private collaborations between corporations and government, but then below that, what they want to create is the underclass. They literally want to create an underclass of mutated, retarded, non-essentials that are going to be experimented on like lab rats, and for them, it's communism. At the top, it's fascism, right? For them, it's fascism. It's balls, galas. It's we're not surveilled. If you have enough money, you can get past the surveillance. If you have enough money, so freedom and privacy are going to be the most expensive things if these people get their way. But at the bottom, it's feudalism for you, right? It's basically you're all equal, right? So they're going to try to sell it with these like communist ideals, but really it's this corporate fascist overclass, and then underneath them, it's the communist fake communism plebs. And and everything is equal because you just have everything rationed to you for social credits. And you just are lab rats. You're just lab rats. And they're going to build back better, right? We got to build back better. Boris Johnson, build back better. Build back better. Guess what? BuildBackBetter.com is. Restoring American leadership. Joe Biden's transition team website is buildbackbetter.com. Racial equity, economic recovery, COVID, climate change. They're going to destroy the economy as much as they can with forced lockdowns. They're going to tell us we're non-essential, and they're going to roll out the new happy, healthy economy for the planet. Build back better. Boris Johnson's building back better. Everyone wants to build back better. But guess what? Guess what? Better is not going to look like what we want it to look like. Better is going to look like what they define as better. Better for who? Well, the stakeholders. The shareholders, you get nothing. In fact, you cannot be shareholders anymore. We used to have shareholders in capitalism. We need stakeholder capitalism, where you own nothing, but we own huge stakes of it. We own huge stakes in the global market. And you own nothing. There are no shareholders, only the stakeholders. These people are insane. Look, got Boris Johnson, got Bojo. Everybody's building back better. Canada's building back better. And Joe Biden, good old Uncle Joe, the boy from Scranton. Joe Biden, the kid from Scranton. The Scranton kid, they called him. Joe Biden. He's a man's man. He's every man's man. A true American hero, Joe Biden. He's building back better. We need to build back better with all the stakeholders. Joe Biden, we will offer you a seat at the table. You can be a stakeholder. Or perhaps we just won't release these other videos we have of your son, or the videos we have of you, if you join us, Joe Biden. Got this Think House article about the Great Reset. Companies from across Ireland and UK's creative marketing and communications industry came together to launch the Great Reset, an initiative initiated by the Purpose Disruptors that hopes to maintain and promote the positive behaviors and environmental shifts created during lockdown, where we had a trial run of sustainable living. What did I say? In February, March, I told this to all sorts of people in the space. I remember telling this, I went on a live on Instagram. I was on Paul Saladino's Instagram page. I remember telling him they're going to shift all this stuff you're doing now, everything you see now about COVID is going to pivot into the climate crisis and sustainability, because this is exactly the sustainable development goals that they're being pushed here. This is what they are pushing. This is what they want. Lockdown life. That's sustainable. That is sustainable. How do we develop sustainably? Well, we seize the moment and flatten the curve on the climate. The Economist, lockdowns, when and how to end them. The chip wars, a dangerous escalation as London passes peak closing time in the booze business. Oops. But seize the moment, the cover of The Economist from May 3rd, 2020. Seize the moment, the chance to flatten the climate curve. Okay? Is it becoming clear now? We're all part of a team in here in Team Manitoba. If you see something, say something. Brian Pallister, voice your concerns and share information by calling our COVID-19 MB tip line. See a large gathering, especially a house party? Help us be sustainable. Snitch on your neighbors. Snitch on your dang neighbors. You got the main stakeholders here. You will own nothing, but the stakeholders will own everything. So this person, Klaus Schwab, wants global government run by stakeholders.
To what extent would a reset be brought about by a change in the White House, the election of Joe Biden, for instance?
I don't know. We shouldn't speculate about the outcome of the election. We will see beginning of November, and then we can, in any case, we can, and the World Economic Forum
okay, look what he's doing with his hands. Is he doing that in the beginning? Let's see.
Unemployed, and particularly.
Okay, so in the beginning, he's a little bit more relaxed. You see his hand. Watch his hand posture as the ideas develop. I'm sorry, I know it's an hour, almost 2 hours into the stream. We've only watched one little video, but it's important. Look at his hands. Watch his hands.
Also, people in the grey economy, which
they're relaxed,
are
right?
For who lose their jobs. So we will.
But then look, once he starts, when she asks him about this.
Extent would a reset be brought about by a change in the White House, the election of Joe Biden, for instance?
I don't know. We shouldn't speculate about the outcome
pressing
of the
on his
election.
thumbs.
We will see beginning of November.
He's hand wringing. Oh, in November we will see what happens. He even looks almost nervous. I don't know. I'm not friends with Klaus. I don't know how to read this guy's body language, but that's kind of strange, isn't it?
First, we shouldn't speculate about the outcome of the election. We will see.
The comforting, the self-comforting there with the hands. Why?
Beginning of November, and then we can, in any case, we can, and the World Economic Forum is very open and as an open platform to integrate everybody who is willing to address those issues in a spirit, which means to exercise here true global citizenship.
True global citizenship. You see, this is This is what's interesting, you know, with all his flaws and everything he's screwed up on. Trump did go to WEF. He did go to the World Economic Forum. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch his speech because I saw some segments of it. And he did say, screw you guys, basically. He did tell them to F off. He did give them a big middle finger at Davos. Got out of the Paris Climate Accord. They were pissed about that. All right, the Paris Climate Accord is basically just the destruction of every developed nation and then the freezing and the not allowing to ever develop of the undeveloped nations. It's crazy. So, anyways, I thought that's kind of strange. But this dude just, he talks like it, he acts like it, he dresses like it. This dude is like a Bond villain. This guy, like, there's no better description than a James Bond villain. So Jay pointed out he's pointed this out several times. I think he posted on Twitter today. This guy next to the Blofeld character, James Bond character, that Dr. Evil was based on. The Blofeld. Looks exactly like him, dresses like him.
So it's all about pelvic blood flow. You get inadequate clitoral engorgement, which a lubricant can be useful.
Man, Dr. Greger. I wish we could just go back to making fun of vegans and having fun, but it's gotten way more in our face now. It's not just the food now. It's like the all-encompassing agenda is being pushed really hard. All right, the food is just such a small portion of this, especially with this economic warfare thing going on. But it is very important. The removal of good quality food from the diet, the forcing us to eat the kibble, the destruction of agriculture. This Holodomor in the Soviet Union, they starved 30 million Ukrainians. At the Holodomor, 30 million Ukrainians were starved in the most fertile region of Europe, the best soil in the world. These people starved to death due to, guess what? They got locked down. Resources were shut off for them. They were shut off. I don't know. The parallels are striking. 100 years ago, what happened? The Bolshevik Revolution. Very similar to what we see being rolled out now. Except now, it's global. It's technocratic. It's not the printing press that's enabling it now. It's digital media. Andrew Herbst donates $5 via Streamlabs. Best way to support is via Streamlabs. Thank you, Andrew Herbst. Thank you, everybody who supports. Thank you, everybody who hits the thumb up. Thank you for everybody who sticks through these long-ass rants from me and who shares these videos with their friends, family, who force their neighbors to watch it. You know, I want to thank everybody who what do they do? Who get Primal Edge Health tattoos on their head. I know there was a lot of face tattoos after I suggested you guys get face tattoos of Primal Edge Health. The channel name that I don't even like anymore. I didn't even like after like 6 months of doing the channel. I hated the name. But yeah, really appreciate all you guys repping the PEH face tattoos and supporting the stream in other ways like Streamlabs. There's a link right there if you want your questions, comments read. Andrew says 80% of customers just got shut down by the dictate of our emasculated leftist governor. It's all good though. Christ is risen. Thanks for all the hard work exposing these monsters. Yeah, truly he is risen. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm half your size. Oh no, wait a minute. I'm far bigger and far stronger than you.
Claudine, if that's the Claudine that I think it is, I hope you and your lovely family are doing well. Man, it's been, what, like 2 years since we talked? Since you left the vegan thing? And I think you even... You came on for a stream way back when, and I really appreciate the super chat, and I really appreciate the support, and yeah, thank you. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's Andrew Herbst, not Claudine. Claudine's the next one. I read the wrong one. Andrew Herbst said that 80% of customers just got shut down. That's California, I'm sure. Now Claudine donates $5. There's another one from Claudine. Says, hey Tristan, did you see that Boris Johnson came out yesterday and said he will be banning petrol cars by 2030. Yes, of course. by 2030, right? Of course. Obviously, we knew this would happen, but wow, they are so sick. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's insane. It's insane. So we're going to ban petrol cars, but no, don't worry. You get to buy these electric vehicles that require lithium mined by some of the extra people in Bolivia. And maybe we'll use some cobalt or some other mined rare earth minerals from Africa that will be mined by some of the extra Congolese children that will be well employed from the age of 6 doing physical labor for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, because they published that article that we read last time from The Guardian where they said child labor is good. It's empowering. It teaches you real life skills to work in the cobalt mines in Africa, so that you can eat methylcobalamin instead of having real meat. So you can take your methylcobalamin B12 supplement that's made from slave labor, mined cobalt. Ugh, Claudine. Thank you very much. They're sick. These are sick people. It's sickening just thinking about and seeing their machinations, right? But we're all forced to. They're trying to force us all to submit to their will as they try and rearrange the world under and around us. Use us as their useful idiots. And they've leveraged tons of groups of useful idiots. They sure have. The universities and the YouTubes, the social media and mass media.
Pick up on some of the economic projections. In your book, you tackle what the future may look like, and at this stage we're grappling with various letters of the alphabet, whether it's a V or a U or perhaps even a symbol, a tick shape. Can you just give us some clues about the growth down the track, what we can expect?
First, if you look at it at the national or global level, at the macroeconomic level, one of the things we address very much in the book and we are concerned is the increased debt level. We spend about 10 trillion worldwide to deal with the short-term negative effects of the pandemics. But we should be aware we are just increasing our debt situation. And we were already very much debt loaded before we went into the crisis. So how to get at the end out of this debt situation is still a big question mark.
How can we keep extracting all the resources and controlling all the people using the false idea of debt and printing money? How can we continue this giant scam when people are starting to figure it out? How can we continue this in the crisis?
We know that there's quite some impact on different industries. We know that certainly the health industry, the digital industry will go out of this crisis strengthened. But we know that many industries which rely particularly on physical interaction will have difficulty.
Many industries, we know this because these are what we want to get rid of. Things that require physical interaction from human beings because we want to get rid of humans.
Is to survive. Finally, I just would add, I think this is an opportunity again to find solutions which are beneficial for the next generation. So why
the next generation of who?
Not to tie government aid to the green economy which we have to create. Why not to make sure that we revolutionize, digitalize particularly our educational system.
Digitalize our education system. They want centrally controlled education for everybody. They've destroyed the education system in every country. They're busy doing it now in the U.S. The education system here in Ecuador with the IMF loans that they gave, these predatory IMF loans with the conditions, have destroyed the education system. The children are not allowed to go to school. They've got this Bill Gates style home education where they want everybody on iPads. I'm tired. iPads and iPhones. They want everybody on devices. They want a bunch of little autistic kids programmed by their devices who have no human interaction or human contact, who are never getting together with groups of other human beings, who can never even think about changing this or throwing off the shackles, who can never even think about escaping their slavery because they will know nothing else. They will be raised by electronic devices, raised by the state, bred by the state. This is what these people have in mind. This is not just me musing about some sci-fi shit. These are crazy people who tell us they want to do this. And you can point to their writings, you can point to their books. They publish this right out in the open. And then if you talk about it, they'll just gaslight you. The mainstream media will just gaslight you and say, no, this is a crazy conspiracy theory. Like the New York Times today, 2 days ago, the baseless Great Reset conspiracy theorist rises again. Where'd that go? The baseless Great Reset. Why is it not showing? You got to go through all these coronavirus things first. Baseless Great Reset conspiracy theory comes back. Oh, this is so baseless. Easily debunked. Baseless conspiracy theorists made by just crazy white supremacists, insane, psychopath, non-essential, degenerate, horrible people who just hate things. They just hate. And that's why they make these conspiracy theories like the World Economic Forum doesn't love you and isn't going to save you. Birthers. Yeah, these crazy natural birthers. All these insane natural birthers who think it's like, oh, their appeals to nature. They want to have their babies born from wombs. This is the terminology these people are going to come out with. They're going to continue to gaslight. It doesn't matter if it's right in front of your face. These people will tell you, no, that's not real. That's fake. That's just crazy talk.
When we talk about the Great Reset, to talk also about innovation. How can we do things differently from what we used to do? And if we speak about differently, it means also how can we do it to make sure that a majority of people are benefiting from it and not just a minority.
It's going to be beautiful for everybody. Oh, yes. This is how they sell it to you. Oh, it's going to be equality for everyone. Everyone's getting brain chips. We're all getting Fitbit skulls. Yay.
Started out Davos this year talking about the environment. Greta Thunberg versus Donald Trump. Certainly a lot of headlines crossing from the mountain. But last time round in the crisis, we saw people didn't care so much about the environment when we were talking about large-scale job losses. This time seems different. Are you surprised about how strong the sustainability theme has been right through the pandemic?
No, I would see even a chance to accelerate, let's say, our transition into a green.
Oh, of course, you see a great opportunity. To accelerate.
No, I would see even a chance to accelerate, let's say, our transition into a green economy, because people probably recognize that we have to become more resilient. We have now the experience of one crisis. The environmental crisis, the climate crisis could be a much bigger one. So I see more awareness. But on the other hand, we have the big issue of unemployment, of low levels of employment. And I think
this is what he wants. They want to get rid of us. They talk about it openly.
We shouldn't see the two as contradictory objectives.
I didn't see the climate crisis. We shouldn't see the two as contradictory objectives. Thanks, Klaus. Klaus Schwab, everybody. 2030, and we own nothing. You own nothing. You own nothing, Jon Snow. Thank you very much, Klaus. We appreciate your input, and we're so glad. We're so excited for your 2030 party. I can't believe Newsom, man. So they're locking it. We got lockdown 2.0, 3.0, whatever. Lockdown reboot, lockdown reloaded. Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum saying brainwaves can help us monitor mental health, says Alphabet. So as these people drive you insane and gaslight you, they're going to help monitor your mental health, right? This is how sick and psychopathic these people are. They're trying to make the world so sick, right? They're trying to spread their mental illness to all these people. And then,
well, again, I'm bigger and stronger than you, so I won't worry too much.
Don't have to worry too much because Klaus is bigger and stronger. They want to make it so miserable. And they're gaslighting everybody, telling you all these contradictory things, obvious lies, telling you that up is down, down is up. You got to get rid of all your freedom to truly be free and be safe from the virus. But don't worry, Alphabet, the parent company of Google, can monitor your brainwaves to help you monitor your mental health. Thanks, Alphabet. Alphabet's Innovation Lab X. What's with all the X? SpaceX. All these X's. X has been working on a project to monitor depression for 3 years. Ooh, to monitor depression. It combines electroencephalography, or EEG, with machine learning software. The prototype device looks like a swim cap and measures the electrical activity in the brain. The team set out to find a biomarker for depression and anxiety, and have now made the technology and insights available to the global health community. Guess what? You can also read all sorts of other things. These people are crazy. Google parent company Alphabet has unveiled details of a mental health experiment and prototype device designed to monitor symptoms of depression more accurately over time. Yay! Yay! EEGs, which it says are 96-year-old technology. They're going to use that. Will help you not be depressed. You'll be happy. You can be happy just like that mannequin right there, because that's what we think you're going to be. We want you to be this. A headless styrofoam cutout of a human. Wired up. Are you sad? Do you have anxiety? Come let this 400-pound woman strap a freaking bunch of wires to your head. So yay, this is great. We're going to monitor your brain waves. Oh, look, all these people die from depression, but we're pioneers of change. These technologies are going to help us fight the virus. COVID is making people depressed. But Alphabet says brain waves could help us monitor mental health. The effects of COVID are making people depressed. But don't worry, Neuralink can put a chip in your head. I don't know. These people are sick. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy after we identify what's causing your depression and medicate you into lobotomy, says Prism in the chat. Someone else typed something I thought was funny. Where is it? There are a lot of really good comments here. I can't keep up with them all. Nature Lady says, one of the reasons I feel driven towards orthodoxy is seeing how the devil really operates. And that's the great insight for other people as well. That, people talk about, we got the red pill, the blue pill. A lot of people get red pilled years ago. And then you start looking, okay, well, something's up. Something's wrong with the system, or something's wrong with this or that. Well, how are we going to fix it? What's the root cause? You start looking to the root cause, and it becomes abundantly obvious the root cause is not just this single external thing that's just waiting for us to rearrange it. It's that evil. It's that seed, that fallen, that seed of evil that is planted in everybody's heart that can grow if we allow it to. Right? It's that evil that is so deep. It's the demonic working that is so dark. It's so insane. It's so sick, and it's also really cunning. When you start to see the depth of that darkness, you end up getting kind of black-pilled, right? But you're still on. There you go. Brino says it's still pharma. You got the red pill, the blue pill, the black pill. You take the blue pill, eventually you're going to get black-pilled. You're going to start running through the muck, trying to fix things, and you're going to realize that it goes way beyond just oh, if we could just arrange our politics correctly, if we can just get Ron Paul elected, or if Trump just gets elected, then it's all going to be good. No, it's worse than that. It's insanely complex, deep, and the depths of that darkness are almost infinite. Right? Sometimes you got to realize, look, you can't keep looking into that darkness because it does, like Nietzsche said, it looks back. He said it looks back. So you take the black pill after taking that red pill, after living off the blue pills, and eventually you realize, you know what? There's nothing else except the God pill. And you got to get God pilled. That's what's up. You got the red pill, leads to the black pill, that leads to the God pill. All right? So the depths of these evils do reveal the inner workings of our own hearts too, because we could all end up like Klaus Schwab. We could all end up like Hunter Biden or Joe Biden or Cardi B. We could all end up like these people because we are all human like them. We could all end up like these people. It's sad. So you can't chew on them black pills all the time. You can't chew on the black pills all the time. You got to realize, yeah, the world is fallen. And we got to repent. That's the thing. That's really what it is. We have to repent. How are we complicit? I think it's important that we all pray for mercy, that we all do pray, because as from what I've seen, I don't know. It's hard not to think we don't. It's hard to think we don't deserve what's coming. It's really sad. It's really sad. I mean, if this is what we'll allow, if we allow this shit to be, we allow our daughters to be on OnlyFans, we give our kids iPads to babysit them, we allow the Newsoms and Pelosi families to run California into the ground for generation after generation. We allow these people to lock us in our homes, to close our churches. We allow them to we allow them to hijack our minds and let us work and trick us into worshiping this bullshit, these lies they tell us. Then there's not much that's going to stop what's coming. So we just have to repent, really. And we got to hope that there can maybe be some grace and we can live peacefully for a few more years, or many more years, hopefully. Right? So you got to stop. You can't be chewing on them black pills all the time. You got to get rid of all the pills and focus on God. No, but anyways, in Slovakia, people are standing up saying no. People all over stand up saying no. Huge protests in Germany. Let me see if I had that. There it is. Thousands of Germans. Sorry, I'm going to make that bigger. Thousands of Germans on the streets. And of course, the militarized police beating them up and gassing them. Their own people, that's their cousins, brothers, sisters, neighbors. And we could all be in that uniform. We could all be out there shooting people with tear gas for saying, no, we're not going to let you make us slaves. We could all be there oppressing these people, beating the shit out of them. We could all be in their shoes. It's crazy. Like this, it's everywhere. This is being pushed. They want to destroy all of these cultures. And they talk about protecting indigenous cultures. And no, those are the people they want to destroy the quickest. They're destroying all of these cultures. And they want to give you the global McMonoculture. But it's going to be equality. You're all going to be equal. We're all going to be equal. Except the stakeholders. The stakeholders of the stakeholder capitalism. They're going to be a lot more equal than us. And they're going to build back better because they're better. They believe they're better. Where is it? What do we have here? And they give you all this nonsense. They give you these fake religions. They give you these fake saviors. They give you Klaus Schwab. They want to make this guy out to be some great thinker. Oh, he's this amazing man. When you read what this dude's saying, It's insane. He's talking about degrowth. A movement that embraces zero or even negative GDP growth is gaining some traction. Guess what that means for people like us? Less people eating. They want to cut economic growth, meaning economic activity, meaning human activity. It's weird. Economics is a very strange concept in general. It kind of is an occult science. It's always been that way. You're looking at alchemy. Economics is cybernetic alchemy. Planned yet adaptive, sustainable, and equitable downscaling of the economy leading to a future where we can live better with less. Incentivizing investment in green and social frontier markets, of course. Social frontier markets. Okay, let's find. There's some really good quotes in this crazy genocidal tome that is his book, COVID-19: The Great Reset, where he talks about having a complete societal reset. A complete societal reset. And he even admits in this book that this pandemic is the least deadly of any of the pandemics that we've had. COVID-19 is likely to sound the death knell of neoliberalism, a corpus of ideas and policies that can loosely be defined as favoring competition over solidarity, creative destruction over government intervention, and economic growth over social welfare. For a number of years, the neoliberal doctrine has been on the wane, with many commentators, business leaders, and policymakers increasingly denouncing its market fetishism. But COVID-19 brought the coup de grace. It is no coincidence that the two countries that Thank you, Dr. Coomer. Always got to interrupt with the Coomer talk. It's no coincidence that two countries that over the past few years embraced the policies of neoliberalism with the most fervor, the US and the UK, are among those that suffered the most casualties during the pandemic. Oh, these two non-competent forces, massive redistribution on the one hand and abandoning neoliberal policies on the other, will exert a defining impact on our society's organization, ranging from how inequalities could spur social unrest to the increasing role of governments and the redefinition of social contracts. So all neoliberalism is being demonized, right? You have huge populist uprisings against neoliberalism. You have the yellow jackets in the yellow vests in France. You have all these uprisings happening in Latin America that were quelled right before and during, actually, most of them were stomped down during the COVID crisis, right? You had Chile, you had an attempted kind of almost color revolution that seemed to fail in Bolivia. You've got all this unrest all around, neoliberal policies being lambasted, populist uprisings against neoliberal policies, neoliberalism being basically exposed for this insanity that it is. And what have they done? They've marketed it in a different way. They're going to call it stakeholder capitalism. That's not neoliberalism. It's not fascism. No. It's stakeholder capitalism. Public-private partnerships. No competition. Right, so they'll define it as like, oh no, neoliberalism is about competition. They said neoliberalism was never about competition in the small developing nations, as you call them, what you call the third world, that are just being exploited by these transnational corporations that drive neoliberal policies. There's no competition there, really. So they're going to gaslight you into thinking that the neoliberals, right, the neocons and neoliberals are going to gaslight you into thinking that they're going to save the world with their rebranding of everything they're doing. Their rebranding of totalitarian technocracy, military state, rebranding the drug war, the war on terror, pivoting all that to the war on everybody, the war on the invisible enemies. Now that's the new model. The new model is global neo-feudalism. Global techno-fascism, neo-feudalism, whatever you want to call it. Right? Techno-fascist, neo-feudal communism. Whatever stakeholder capitalism, circular economy. It's just rebranding this. All right, so the inequalities, all that, it's going to be equal. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so enlightening, A few quotes that I'm gonna have to mark this up again, mark some pages. But anyways, I suggest you read the book. Don't pay money to Klaus Schwab or Amazon for it. You can find a PDF of it. COVID-19: The Great Reset. You can find PDFs of all of Schwab's books. In fact, maybe we should host them on our website. I don't want to get hit with a copyright thing or anything.
Put it in Discord.
We can put them in our Discord. If you guys want a copy of COVID-19: The Great Reset, become a member of our Discord. Let's start putting up some of these PDFs in there and keeping a reading list in that.
Make a library.
Yeah, we can make a library of some of these PDFs, and we'll put that in there. Become a member, primaledgehealth.com. There's a link in the description. If you want to support the stream, we highly suggest you do, and we appreciate it.
That's racism, man. I love to racism, bro.
Thank you, bro. All the comedy ones, all these comedy transitions, or what do you call it? The notifications from Streamlabs. It's not been the funniest night tonight, has it? It's been more of a serious night. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you bigots, you come here, you want to laugh too. You want a couple laughs. Don't worry. I'll be your clown again soon. We'll go back to clowning about in a little bit. Tofu86. Hey, Tofu. What's up, man? What's up, Tofu? Tofu86 donated $5. Says Klaus Schwab, bald man bad. Hey. Come on. Klaus Schwab is a good man. He's a stakeholder. Andrew Herbst donates $5. Andrew Herbst again says, prayer requests for my business. The shutdowns that are being rolled out are going to greatly affect my customer base, just like last time. I bounced back then, and I'll bounce back this time with God's help, but I'm asking for prayers. Right on, Andrew. We'll be praying for you, man. Praying for everybody out there whose businesses are getting shut down. This is insane. And, prayer is important, but I do think it's important that we push back as well. Right? And not pushing back in the way that they want you to push back by fighting in the streets with each other. But really, how they've got people fighting in the streets over illusions and delusions. All these nutcase people, these freaking BLM and Antifa idiots out there burning down cities. It's insane. When really, they're doing the bidding of people like Klaus Schwab. They're bringing in the chaos that these people want to shut this down in a Bolshevik-style shutdown. We got to stop letting it. Andrew, if you're in California, and everybody out in California, all the best to you guys. You'll be in our prayers, and hoping that everybody out there whose businesses are going to take a hit are ready and ready to push back against this nonsense. These people, Gavin Newsom should be in prison. A lot of these people should be in frickin' prison. Okay? Why the hell is Hillary Clinton still? She's going to be the UN ambassador. Hillary Clinton's going to be the UN ambassador if Biden's able to get in there in that Oval Office, to get back in the game, as he said, and selling off all these countries and destroying all these cultures in order to bring in the Great Reset and global government. Andrew, thank you, and we'll be praying for you, man. What kind of business is it? Maybe some people live nearby you. I know a lot of gyms have been getting shut down. A lot of, it's just insane. Everything except Amazon, huge corporations, they're allowed open. All right. Sorry, I'm getting pissed. Again, Dency Diaz donates $20. Dency Diaz just says, what? What? Dency, did you mean to say something else and you only said what? $20 from Dency Diaz. What? Thanks, Dency. I appreciate that. Let me see if you're in the chat right now. Hey, Zyklon be still no God. Got Aaron Burrows up in the chat. Aaron Burrows. What's happening, Aaron? Watching the Black Lives Matter Trump fights broke my heart. I'm like, no, you're doing what they want you to do. Yeah. This is the thing. Well, they've had these people out in the streets just burning cities down for months. And then it's like, what are people supposed to do? You just allow this? They make it inevitable there's going to be these crazy conflicts, and they make it it's getting crazy. But you guys don't go get involved in don't go street fighting and street brawling. You are not going to solve problems with fighting and brawling in the streets. You're not going to solve problems by getting your head busted in or by busting someone else's head in. It's not the time for that. It is not the time for that. Now, this doesn't, like, when people talk about, it's divide and conquer, it's like, no, we're not all supposed to be together. It's like Christ said, he didn't come to bring everybody together, but he came with a sword, right? And we shouldn't all just be, we're all going to unite. Unite under what? Another humanist ideal? A new atheist world order? No, we need to unite to God, to the Spirit of God. We need to unite in repentance. And we do need to push back against these sickos. Right? And we do need to prosecute these punks. Larry Romano says we need to unite under Biden. Yeah, exactly. Now, unity under Biden. And the stuff about, we're supposed to be united. We're all supposed to be united. We're in a fallen world. And any global unity that is achieved is a false global unity unless it is by God, right? And we're not expecting a global unity here in this realm. We're not expecting that. In fact, we believe that things are going to get a lot crazier, and it's going to become more and more difficult for people to maintain spiritual purity, to maintain a connection to the truth. And what Father Seraphim Rose writes about in his fantastic book, Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future. I think it's in this book, or it might be in another book. I think it's in this book. Talking about how in the latter times, the temptations are going to be so subtle. The temptations are going to be so subtle, it's going to be difficult to discern, right? Even the very elect should be deceived. Yeah, so unity, right? This whole thing of they're just divide and conquer. Yes, that is a tactic, right? If you have a group of people, you can get them divided up fighting against themselves. But, divide and conquer is what it's all about for the whole world. Like, if they weren't dividing us, we would just all be together singing Kumbaya. No, we're fallen. And we're following our base passions very often, right? People are fallen. People believe they're just monkeys and animals, right? And I know, I'm not saying that anybody in the stream was saying this. I'm just thinking out loud, right? Because it's true, right? You got the Black Panthers. The feds infiltrated them, tried to radicalize some of them to get them demonized, right? They do this to groups all the time. Try to radicalize parts of them, get them infighting, and you destroy those oppositions. But it's not like, oh man, hey, the government just wants to divide us, man, because if we were all together and if we all just bought Bitcoin, we'd have the fucking unity, dude, and we'd all just smoke bong loads and freaking all just have our Bitcoin and we'd pay with Bitcoin and we'd all just be cyber hacking and No, that's bullshit. There's no great unity to be achieved here among fallen man. We've got a bunch of fallen men struggling for control over the fallen ashes. It's we don't expect this to be our salvation. And we can't expect that. That's demonic to believe that we're going to create this global utopia and we're all just going to unite and create this great equal, sustainable world. That's how genocides happen. That's every genocide in the history of humanity has been that. The history of humanity is the history of that mystery of the mystery of iniquity, right? The mystery of iniquity. This is this constant search for creating this new order, right? You have it in the Tower of Babel. And you got it again now, the Tower of Google. Klaus Schwab. Oh, Klaus. In 2030, we will all be sustainable. We will all be equal. All of us stakeholders, we will hold equal stakes. And all of the non-essentials will all be equal as well. They will all equally own nothing. They'll eat their plant-based kibble and they will be happy with it. There's the WEF. Where's all my stuff about the food? I got a bunch of stuff about... Where'd it go? WEF. Here it is. plant-based diets, planet-based diets. And you get fake unity, you get fake solidarity, you also get fake food and fake food security. And of course, they use corn as their little corn emojis. The World Business Council for Sustainable Development, which includes all the GMO giants, DuPont, Cargill, Bayer Monsanto, all these huge transnational corporations that manufacture GMO seeds, right? And then all the huge brands, Unilever, Nestle, they're all members of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development because they're sustainable and they care about your food insecurity. Oh, you're food insecure. We've huddled you into cities, taken away your skills. In fact, we've brainwashed you to think that having any real skills or growing food just makes you a cousin fucking hillbilly. Right? If you even want to grow your own food, you're probably a dirty, uneducated, foolish, buffoon hillbilly who doesn't even have an OnlyFans. You probably don't even have an OnlyFans account. You're probably not even gay. You're not even bisexual. You're just like you probably believe there's two genders. You're some backwards ass hick if you know how to grow your own food. But Nestle's going to give you good food. They know. They're sustainable. They're amazing. Food insecurity has doubled in 2020 compared to 2019. To protect farmers against climate crises and the impact of COVID-19. Oh, it's COVID. It's not you, it's COVID. We must look towards sustainable, climate-resilient agriculture, says the WBCSD, that's the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, climate-resilient agriculture to help tackle food insecurity. Oh, look, we're going to give the GMO seeds to the Africans. And if you look closely, you can see the scar from the vaccines we gave you as a child. You know, people here in the hills actually burned their arms,
Their children's arms.
and their children's arms as well, with pieces of rice to make it look like they got that. What was that? What's the jab? Is that the?
I don't remember what it was.
It's not polio.
I would say tetanus, but I don't know if that. I don't think that's
It's the one that burns a scar on your arm. I don't know how I didn't get that one, but yes, they're going to bring GMO seeds to Africa. It's so good. It's so sustainable. The global south. Oh, we need to help the vulnerable farmers. And guess who the members of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development are? It's all the huge transnational corporations. All the huge transnational. Apple, right? Bain and Company. Right? You can thank Bain and Company for the existence of Starbucks. Bain and Company, Mitt Romney's, and dark investment capital. Actually, watch a really Graceful's video about Bain and Company. Baker McKenzie. I almost said Bayer. And then also Bayer, Bloomberg, BMW, Borealis, BP, Bridgestone. They're all sustainable. They want sustainable development. Cargill, Chevron, super sustainable. The heck is Snowpack, some Chinese company. A bunch of Chinese companies. Of course, China's super sustainable. Continental, Covestra, Danone. That's like some of the biggest international food folks. DuPont and Dow, the GMO giants. They're super sustainable, right? They're so sustainable. All right, Monsanto, so sustainable. Fujitsu.
I'm so much better now, and I'm so much bigger and stronger than you.
GlaxoSmithKline, Goodyear, Google. Of course, Google's a member, so you can trust their search engine to tell you the truth. IBM, who helped bring you the tattoo systems that the Nazis used for their tracking people in their COVID camps. Honda, IKEA, Kellogg's. These people, look into the connection between IBM and the Nazis. It's crazy. So, yeah, all these big companies, Mitsubishi, Michelin, Nestle, Monsanto, Cargill, they're all sustainable. Pirelli, Shell, Philips, they're bringing you sustainable development. Just like the World Resources Institute, who's launched the WRI food initiatives, right? World Resources Institute, also the World Wildlife Fund, bringing planet-based diets. That's the next one. It was plant-based diets. Now they're saying planet-based diets. The new WWF platform, identifying national level impacts of different diets on human and environmental health. Danish Minister for Food shows support in how action is accelerating with Nordics. And guess what they mean? They're going to replace real meat with fake meat, and that's sustainable. Look, Unilever sets bold new future foods ambitions. This is the World Resources Institute, which is connected, I believe, as the MacArthur Foundation. The World Resources Institute, eyeing out all them world resources. They're stakeholders. They're not like us. They're stakeholders. The Vegetarian Butchers, what the cluck? Ooh, what the cluck? That's so cool. Magic Mints, fake food. Right? So all these big corporations, all the Rockefeller Foundation investing $1 billion to catalyze a green recovery from the pandemic. Oh, the pandemic recovery. Not the lockdown recovery. Not the Bolshevik-style lockdown, the pandemic. Good luck enforcing this. Oh, that's different. So anyways, the food will be as fake as your friends. Your friends will be bots. All your friends will be bots. All your food will be fake. And you will all be equal. Klaus. True Serum says, Tristan, can I email you the link? Yeah, I don't know what link you're talking about, but there's email Primal Edge Health. There's a link. Go to our website and go to the contact form and email from there, right?
Yeah.
What? Or Tristan at primaledgehealth.com. There's my email. The email that goes to me that I can't just say, Jessica, will you check the email? Eat the bugs. Yeah, they want you eating bugs. They want you eating the buggies. Dancy Diaz donated $15. Says, I want to see your OnlyFans, bro. Man, that's only the $100 and up tier of donations. If you donate $100 in one chunk as a Streamlabs, then a thing pops up and you like on the Streamlabs and you get access to our OnlyFans, which is just copy and pasted pictures of Vegan Gaines' penis from his OnlyFans. I just plagiarized it all. I just plagiarized Vegan Gaines' OnlyFans. Yeah. Environmentalism ends with you cooking bugs and your dead grandpa over a dung fire while your overlords eat steak. That's it. Prism nailed it. But you have to read it in the Klaus Schwab voice. Oh, I do not know if there is a solution. But if we want to truly be environmentalists, we must implement a new system of eating bugs and boomer burgers over poo-poo fire while I eat steaks because I am the stakeholders. We will be stakeholders. You will eat grandma. You will be injected with aborted baby parts. We will eat steaks. You will pay $16 a gallon for gasoline, and we will force you to buy electric cars because we are the stakeholders. Meat on Mars. Aleph Farms wants to serve slaughter-free steaks in space. The Israeli company aims to make extraterrestrial food production a thing after successfully making a tiny beef steak on the International Space Station. Leave it to the innovators at the great state of Israel, my greatest ally, right? Our greatest ally. They're going to bring meat to Mars, but I've never been to Mars, but I've never even been to Mars. If you go to Mars and you bring this slaughter-free steak and you put your hand inside the magic button, it will melt all the ice caps. And then we will terraform Mars. So that's a terrible Arnold. Consider that a divorce. Consider that a divorce, Klaus Schwab. Consider that a divorce. My daddy wants his Nazi ring back, Klaus Schwab. We're gonna make fake steaks on the moon. Woo! We're gonna have fake meat on Mars, everybody. Fake meat on Mars. And guess what? Impossible Foods is now developing a plant-based alternative to cow's milk. Aren't you sick of real milk? I'm so sick of real foods. Real foods are mean. Do you know that real cow's milk is just rape? That's all it is. It's just rape juice. Do you know that meat is just murder? Steak is a murder. You know what's not murder? Impossible Foods fake plant-based alternative to cow's milk. We call it Kylie Jenner milk. Or not Kylie, Caitlyn Jenner milk. Kylie Jenner is like the actual attractive one, right? I don't know. There's too many of the Jenners. We will give you Caitlyn Jenner alternative cow milk. It will be squeezed straight from the breast of an ectogenetic lab-grown duplicate of Caitlyn Jenner. It will be the most beautiful and brave, stunning milk that has ever been created by a psychopath. You can drink it straight. You can make Caitlyn, you can turn it into Caitlyn Jenner cheese. If you age the Caitlyn Jenner cheese for 1 year, you can make Parmesan cheese. Yay! Vegan milk is up next for Impossible Foods. Live kindly says. Live kindly. Beyond Meat joins forces with EverFi to make sustainability education accessible to students nationwide. Wow! Woo! Woo! All right, stakeholders. You know what? I'm going to be a stakeholder. I'm not going to be eating your fake meat. I'm going to be eating my steaks. I'm eating meat and making families. We're going to teach our children real skills. We're going to keep praying with our children. We're going to keep praying for that God has mercy on us. And we're going to keep trying to learn real skills and build up real communities. Not these fake World Economic Forum communities. But real communities in real life. We're going to keep building that. And that's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on our families, on taking control of our own health, on controlling what we can in our own health, through proper diet, through getting outside in the sun. We're not going to be afraid of the sun. First they tell us, oh, the sun's going to give you cancer. They tell you, oh, we're going to lock you in your home to keep you safe, knowing that vitamin D deficiencies are associated with higher all-cause mortalities from all infections.
How dare you? How dare humanity?
How dare you? How dare you interrupt me, Michelle Lowe? You lovely woman, you. That's what we got to do. We got to build real communities. We got to have real skills. We got to be producing our own food locally too, because these people are going to try to cut off resources to not just the third world, but to rural areas in general. Right? While these people go to fancy French restaurant dinners, they don't have to wear their mask, but they tell you, you better wear your mask in your own home. We're going to get to that next time. I think we might do a stream tomorrow. It'll be more funny, kind of. Probably not. It's just going to be me yelling. No, I'm just kidding. You Martin donates $5, says Godspeed. Thank you, you Martin. How about Godspeed? How about God just slows it down a little bit? How about we pray for mercy? How about we repent and we can have maybe another 100 years without global bloody Holodomor, right? Without a global Bolshevik revolution. How about we pray for some more years without that crap? I would love that. Right? We just want to be able to live in peace and dignity with our families, with our neighbors, with our community. We don't want this. So we have to take steps, and we can't accept this. We can't accept it. We cannot accept it. All right. Let me come over here and see what's going on. See what's going on in the chat. We got some... There's always fake solutions, right? There's always fake solutions to these bullshit, phony, insane crises that we get promoted. There's always a solution. What are the solutions? They're always fake as fuck. Empty. Like empty spirituality. Oh, you're God, bro. We're going to tell you, oh, you're God. Or just give up your rights. That's always the solution, right? Just give up all your rights. We'll save you. We'll give up all your rights and we'll save you. And then you get fake spirituality, you get fake food. They want you fake. That's it. That's what they want you to be. They want you to be fake because you're made real. You're made in the image and likeness of God. And we have the ability to connect, to reconnect with that image and likeness of God. We have an ability to repent and to put off our fallen nature. We have ability to heal that, but not through our own will, but through lining up with the will of God. So anyway, so there are real, actual solutions, but the TV ain't going to tell you that. Most of your social media influencers, they're not going to tell you that either. The World Economic Forum not going to tell you that. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's madness. The red pill leads to the black pill. And that black pill better lead to getting God pilled. But just stop popping the pills. You stop popping all the pills. Here's a good book. I talked about this a minute ago. Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future. You can get this at St. Herman's Monastery. Let me find it. St. Herman's Press. There we go. sthermanmonastery.com. Let me make sure they have, yes, books, writings of Father Seraphim Rose. They don't have, they need, man, somebody needs to email them and beg them to start printing Genesis, Creation, and Early Man again. But, look, all of these books, every one of these, we got to get this one. Especially those, I've read these four. But Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future, you get it for $9.95 on that website. That's a great book. The Nihilism book, also very good. We can't just be filling our heads with these cartoonish things that these people put before us. All this nonsense they put before us. All this violence and hypersexualized imagery that they put before us. Right? We can't just fill our heads with that. We gotta focus on what's good. We gotta focus on building on what's good. All right, so that's a really good book. I'm always recommending this one to the audience. Get that one, Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future. All right, I'm over here. Anon donated $10. Says you should watch his apology in full. Gruesome from California. Let's do it. I gotta find it. Where is? Let's look up Newsom. I can't stand these people. I knew that he made a video. I couldn't watch it. I haven't watched it yet. Anyway, he apologized. Let's hear it. Gavin Newsom apologizes.
On the minimized mixing, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge something just before we go into the Q&A. And that is very soberly acknowledge that a few weeks ago, I was asked to go to a friend's 50th birthday. My wife and I, a friend that I've known for almost 20 years, and a
lobbyist. A lobbyist, and this birthday was also attended by a bunch of medical bureaucrats. What is this? What is this?
That put a lot of time and energy into.
I've put a lot of time and energy into this. Listen, he talks like he's trying to. Gavin Newsom talks like he's auditioning for the next Batman movie. He talks like he's. You talk like you want to be Batman.
And a friend that had put a lot of time and energy into his 50th birthday. It was in Napa, which was in the orange status.
Napa. It was in Napa, which is where my winery is, which is one of the richest, most affluent areas of California. You piece of shit. You're so slimy. You're such a sellout.
Relatively loose compared to some other counties.
And this guy comes from a multi-generational, controlling, what would you even call it? Multi-generational oligarch family, right? Connected to the Pelosi's. I think Nancy Pelosi is his aunt, right? Or is it his great aunt? He's the nephew of Pelosi. These people have been running California into the ground for years. These people are gangsters. These are real gangsters.
It was
Look at that smile.
Being outdoor.
It was outdoors. It was outdoors. Does it look like it's outdoors? That's outdoors? It's a nice outdoor rug. Wow, you guys had some great lighting outdoors. It's outdoors. They just lie to you. They just lie. They just gaslight you.
It's relatively loose compared to some other counties. It was to be an outdoor restaurant, and we started the program started at 4 o'clock. It was one of those early reservations. I got there a little bit late at 4:30.
That's another lie. It's dark. What do you mean 4 o'clock? It's pitch black. I was like, it started at 4 o'clock. What are all these lies? Dude, it doesn't get dark in California until maybe right now it gets darker a little earlier. If it was a couple weeks ago, what time is it getting dark there? 6?
I talked to my mom. It's pretty early.
Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
Like 5:30.
It does get dark around 5:36. Okay, never mind. You could be telling the truth about the timeline.
As soon as I sat down at the larger table, I realized it was a little larger group than I had anticipated.
Oh, as soon as I sat down, I realized, but I'd already, we put up so much time and energy in this relationship with my friend, and I've known him for 20 years, so, and plus we were having just some amazing French cuisine, which was mostly animal foods, which I'm going to tell you can't eat anymore because they're unsustainable. But it's okay, because it's really expensive, so you plebs can't afford it.
And I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down, I should have stood up and walked back.
You should have stood up and said, "No, not today, virus. Not today."
On my car and drove back to my house.
Instead, to my palatial estate. To my palatial estate. Doesn't Newsom's family own Squaw Valley? Weren't they given the Squaw Valley concession after the Olympics? These people are so crooked.
There with my wife and a number of other couples that were outside the household. And you can quibble about the guidelines, et cetera, but the spirit of what I'm preaching all the time was contradicted, and I got to own that. And so I want to apologize to you because I need to preach and practice, not just preach and not practice. And I
just lock you up. Yeah, I should do it too. And of course, you gotta have the cool little hand signals going on there for equality. Right? There's just so many deaf people watching Gavin Newsom's announcements.
I've done my best to do that. We're all human. We all fall short.
They got to make the weird faces too. We got to get some faces in there for the translator.
Short sometimes. We've been out, and I think for 3 times since, in fact, I know it's been 3 times because I remember all of those dinners very, very vividly since February. Just 3 times.
Yes, just 3 times. I promise. Listen to this freaking snake.
Own that. And so I want to apologize to you.
I'm going to apologize.
Because
I'm going to apologize to you. This guy's like coked out of his mind or something. What is this guy's deal? How about that video of him in like the burnt down forest? It's climate change, and no one can say it's not real. This dude's so demonic.
And practice, not just preach and not practice. And I've done my best to do that.
I've done my best. I mess up. We mess up. Don't blame me. This dude is so whack. What?
All human. We all fall short sometimes.
We're all human. Hey, don't drag us into this with you, dude. Don't be dragging us into this with you, dickwad.
Because I need to preach and practice, not just preach and not practice. And I've done my best to do that. We're all human. We all fall short sometimes. We've been out, and I think for 3 times since, in fact, I know it's been 3 times because I remember all of those dinners very, very vividly since February.
He
just
remembers.
3 times.
He has a great memory.
Twice with my wife, by myself, outdoors, and then this one occasion with a larger group. And there were just a few extra people there.
Extra people. Not extra people like you guys. Not extra people like you not essentials. They were all bureaucrats. These were high-level medical officials. You're extra people.
Than the spirit of what I am promoting. And so if we're going to minimize mixing, you gotta own up to that. So I just want folks to know that. Paid for our dinner, and we had an early dinner, but it didn't matter. I shouldn't have been there. I should have turned back around. And so when that happens...
That smile like, This dude's never answered for any of the crimes he's committed his whole life. This guy's a gangster. This guy doesn't care. He's laughing at you.
You pay the price, but you also own the mistake, and you don't ever make it again. And you have my word on that. And just know, this has not been a practice I've indulged in the past. I take it very seriously, what we are promoting. That's pay the price, but you also own the mistake, and you don't ever make it again. And you have my word on that. And just know, this is not...
Look, he tries to lecture you never make it again. He lectures the audience.
So when that happens, you pay the price, but you also own the mistake, and you don't ever make it again. And you have my word on that. And just know, this has not been a practice I've indulged in the past. I take it very seriously, what we are promoting, and have been doing so for many, many months. And you should expect nothing less of me, and I expect more from myself. And you have that commitment and my resolve in that respect as well. So when I say minimize mixing, I mean it. But again, COVID fatigue is exhausting, and I'm empathetic beyond words.
Oh, he's empathetic beyond words. Newsom. Gruesome Newsom. He's so empathetic. There aren't even words that can describe how empathetic he is. He has so much empathy. He's so empathetic. Some big ass wine glasses you got there, Gruesome Newsom. But look, it's a diverse crowd. They have a black guy at the table. What if he said that? He's like, there was even a black guy there. we even had an African American at the table. It was a very diverse dinner. It was very equal. Very equal. And we all split the bill. Dude's just laughing at you. Laughing, but the COVID fatigue, it's real. I'm so sorry for you. I'm so empathetic to you. Newsom. Oh, man. The smile. The Newsom smile. Look at that. There's his apology. That's just a random place that I clicked. Let's see. 2 out of 3 clicks. Shit-eating grin. Shit-eating grin on 2 out of 3 random spots you click on the timeline. Like you know what I need? I need to capture some of these people doing the ASL. This all started with COVID, and as soon as COVID started, they're always putting the sign language people up there for you. Now I've talked about why I think that is, but we need that on the stream. I need to get some sign language, like some of the funniest ones, and there were some funny ones back in like March, April. When it really was first ramping up with his facial expressions and stuff. Like, I gotta get some of those, and I have that going the whole time on the stream. All right, Aaron, Prism, Jordan, Dempsey. It's getting late. It's 10:30, and Jessica's past her bedtime. I gotta put Jessica to bed. Yeah, guys, it's been nice hanging out. I might do another stream tomorrow or Thursday. Either tomorrow or Thursday. Friday, I'm doing a stream on Jay's channel. We're going to be talking about a couple of Linklater movies, a couple of Richard Linklater films. That'll be fun. But yeah, I got to, again, thank everybody who does support the stream. People who come through and drop them big fat super chats every once in a while. You guys make these streams worth it. You guys are the ones that keep these going. I want to thank you guys all for supporting. Go through the list here. All the supporters: Anon, you, Martin, Dancy Diaz again, Andrew Herbst 2 times, Tofu, Kareem Paula Abdul-Jabbar, got DB, G-Dub, everybody who supports these streams, everybody who comes through and supports via the link with the, where is it? There you go. There's the link I just threw in there. That link, support the stream, Streamlabs. Link, shout out to all the members, primaledgehealth.com. You guys keep this going. You guys want to get notified about these streams, and if you want our support and you want to support the work we do, get in our weekly coaching calls. You can become a member. There's a link down in the description below, primaledgehealth.com/membership. We do weekly coaching calls in there. But this was a fun stream, guys. It's been nice hanging out with all you big ass and all you bigots and bigettes. And yeah, take it easy, guys. It's freaking nuts out there. The world might go crazy, but we don't have to go with it. We don't got to go nuts with the rest of the world. So yeah, we got to stand up against this. We got to say no. But yeah, don't get caught up in all the madness. Don't get caught up fighting in the streets. All right, take care of your family, take care of your communities, and it's time to stand up against this. And yeah, big shout out to everybody out there who all these Germans getting gassed out in the streets, crazy. But I'm glad they're standing up. All the people in the UK out there saying no to the lockdowns. Who else? The folks over in Slovakia, right? Belgium as well. Was that no Denmark? That was Denmark. We talked about yesterday or 2 days ago. It's good to see people standing up and saying no. All right, don't put your kids in freaking masks, oxygen deprivation, muzzles, face diapers and whatnot. But thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for supporting the stream. And become a member of primaledgehealth.com. Support us and get our support as well. Next coaching call is going to be on Friday in there. So you want to get on that coaching call, join the membership site. And it's a private forum with a bunch of really cool people. I'm out of here, guys. See you next time.